for the Huskies now at the
the final weekend of the 2017 regular season in the Prairie Football Conference on ICU Video. Happy Thanksgiving, football fans. I'm Kevin Donnan, and I'll be your host and sideline reporter for tonight's action between the visiting Saskatoon Hilltops and the Edmonton Huskies, with a battle for first place and home field advantage in the playoffs. The Hilltops come into this game at a 6-1 record, within sole possession of second place in the PFC, and as winners of 6 out of the last 7 national championships, the Hilltops see this game as their opportunity to take back what's rightfully theirs: first place in the PFC and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But standing in their way is the most dominant team in the PFC in 2017, the Edmonton Huskies, and a team with their eye on perfection. The Huskies come in at 7-0, following convincing wins against Winnipeg and Regina the past couple of weeks. The Huskies, with a win tonight, would put the cherry on the sundae of a perfect regular season and home field advantage in the postseason. The atmosphere at a very breezy Clarke Park is electric here tonight. We've got fans from Saskatoon. We've got Huskies fans. It's a great night here at Clarke Park. Let's send things upstairs to Dave Rozak and the coach, John Belmont, who will call tonight's action. And guys, as they say, we always save the best for last, and the script couldn't be better here tonight at Clarke Park. Guys, take it away.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, you've sure got that right. And there's nothing a coach likes better, John Belmont, than playing against the best, because now you get to test your players and you get to test your coaching philosophy too.
It could not have worked out better this season to have a 7-0 playing against 6-1, final league game of the year, playing for first place. Perfect Alberta football weather. Couldn't be better. Huskies have elected to receive. They're going to get the ball, and we'll see what happens.
And it's going to be a breezy evening here at Clarke Park, and that's going to be part of the game plan too.
It certainly will, and either throwing into the wind or with the wind can wreak havoc, especially on the deep balls.
And, of course, the players who will be most interested in the wind will be the quarterbacks. And we've got 2 good quarterbacks. We've got Brad Lonhart playing in his last regular season game as an Edmonton Husky. And you've got a 4th-year man, Jordan Walls, who took over from Jared Andrachuk, who was the great player last year for this Saskatoon Hilltops team. 2 very good quarterbacks.
They're very good. Both control the ball very well, and both can throw deep.
And speaking of throwing, but let's talk about the running game. And with tonight's weather and everything, it should be a very important part of the game.
I would think so, and especially with the Huskies, with their 2 backs healthy, and the Hilltops missing their best running back.
Logan Fisher has been injured for most of this season, yet he continues to lead the league, or is very top at in the rushing statistics in the Prairie Football Conference. And I'll tell you what, they're going to really, really miss him. They'll miss their number 1 kicker and one of their top receivers as well, Riley Keitler. And the Hilltops will kick off down to about the 10-yard line. They're taken by number 22, Brent Berzik, and Berzik makes his way up across the 20 and is stopped at around the 22-yard line. And right off the top, the Edmonton Huskies take the ball over, and they'll mark it at the 24-yard line.
And the Hilltops got a very good high kickoff, and you take a look at it. It gave their contained people or cover people time to get down. So Berzik did not get a real good return. And so we're starting at the 24.
And the Hilltops have elected to take the wind in this first quarter. But right now the Huskies will be battling that brisk northwest wind. Here's the handoff, or the fumble in the backfield, and the Hilltops say they have it, but let's just wait and see. No,
that was a low snap, and out of that pistol formation, you see it on the replay, low snap. Brad had trouble with it, and the ball dropped. He didn't get it into Connor Mickle.
That's one of those zone read things that didn't quite work out the way it should have.
That's exactly right.
All right, Brad Lonhart at quarterback. Berzik, and make that airy motion to this side of the field. Back in the pocket. Takes off with it, and they read that one all the way in there to make the tackle. Was number 56, Tom Schnitzler, out of BJM High School in Saskatoon, and he saw that one all the way.
Well, in this case, what happened, the Husky offensive line in the 2 plays were dominated by the front of the Saskatoon Hilltops. They got off the ball very quick. got into the gaps and shut everything down.
They like to go with that four-man front, and they certainly worked for them that time. And now the kicking game, the all-important kicking game, led by Cole Sabourin, the leading kicker in the Prairie Football Conference and the leading scorer as well with 92 points. And he gets a wobbly kick away. It's a short one down to the 45-yard line. It's taken there by number 28, Colin Stomberg, and he is stopped after a short run.
He got a pretty good height on the punt, but it's into that wind, and it just hung up there. So when you take a look at it here, he gets it away quick, fair amount of height, but very short. Good coverage by the Huskies, about a 4 or 5 yard return.
That was Josh Iwanchina picking up that punt, running it forward about 5 or 6 yards. So it'll be first down for the Hilltops in good field position at about the 37-yard line. There's a pass on the far side. It is complete along the sidelines. Taken there by number 15, Ryan Turple. Jordan Walls to Ryan Turple, and that's a familiar duo for Saskatoon fans to watch.
If you take a look at that, it's a straight timing route, and the wide corner, Wande did not get over on it and allowed that ball to drop in.
Gain of close to 20 yards. It'll be first down. The ball is on the 11-yard line. Hilltops, Walls in the pocket. Pass over the outstretched arms of number 83, Jason Price. Price coming into this game with 18 receptions. He's one of the leading receivers, 410 yards and 3 touchdowns. Almost got his 4th.
He did, and good ball by him, but just a little overthrown. Man coverage now by the Huskies as you get in close to the goal line into the red zone. And they had pretty good coverage on it, but the ball was overthrown.
2nd and 10, ball on the 11. Jordan Walls at quarterback. Straight back, again, same pattern. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of number 4, Sam Mike. Mike got in behind the receiver, or the defender rather, but couldn't hold on to it. Good job there by number 26, Dagbarani Wande.
Now Wande covers this real well. He's in position. He got his hand in and got his head turned just in time, knocked the ball down.
We talked about Dag just about 3 weeks ago, his first game as a Husky, and he's really come along in those 3 weeks.
He has. According to what we've heard, he had a very good game in Winnipeg, and therefore he's starting. They moved Gaetano Minto back to the strong halfback, which is where he's more comfortable.
Here's the field goal from about the 18-yard line. It's through the uprights, and with 12:22 to go in this first quarter, it is the Saskatoon Hilltops 3, the Edmonton Huskies no score, and just like that, the Hilltops show their dominance, especially, well, not even without the run game.
Well, quick passes, if you notice, and they're about 12, 14-yard passes. Yep. Very quick getting rid of the ball because of the front of the Huskies. They bring heat pretty quickly.
Well, we talked about that at the beginning or before the game started, that you expected those short, quick passes.
We expect that, and this is what I expect from the Huskies. This is what they're going to have to do. Whether you're going into the wind or with the wind can wreak havoc with the deep ball. So the short passes work better.
There's the handoff to Jimmy Airy. He tries the right side and plows ahead for a gain of about 5 yards.
Jimmy Airy, the ball carrier for the Huskies.
Almost broke that one, but good job coming up from his defensive lineman position, number 59, Garth Nittig.
You know, you take a look at their front. They're very, very strong in the front, so it's a 2nd and 8 now. This ball will probably be in the air, I suspect.
4 receivers to the far side of the field. Now they're signaling in a new play from the bench. Play clock running. Rolling to his right. There's the pitch up the middle to Airy. And Airy gets about 10 yards on the play, and it'll be enough for the first down. Let's go downstairs. Here's Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Dave. You know, one thing we want to have our viewers notice is the fact that within the last 5 to 6 minutes, the wind has picked up considerably, guys, gusting at about 40 kilometers an hour down here.
Glad it's you and not us, Kevin.
Isn't that the truth?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
On that last play, that's that quick, almost it's like a shovel to Jimmy Airy. They have a lot of success with it.
And there's that almost the same play, almost a screen pass really to Airy. And again, he will pick up about 12 yards, and it'll be enough for maybe make that about 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 1.
They just release him out in the flat, little play action to him, and then release him in the flat. And he got up like 9 yards.
2nd and 1. Ball just shy of the midfield stripe at about the 49, or make that the 54-yard line. Again, Airy the lone setback. There's the handoff. He takes it onto the left side this time and plows ahead for a gain of about 3. And it'll be enough for the first down. In on the tackle down there again was the big guy, number 59 for Saskatoon, Garth Nittig.
Now, Tom Sargent likes to blitz lots of times. You get over in that field and look at it. Here they're coming. First down, they might drop out on this, but he does like the blitz. When you get over midfield on him, first down, he's going to bring the heat.
They're showing
and
blitz,
here they come.
and here they come, and back in the pocket deep. There's the pass. It is complete at center field. A gain of a couple yards on the play and a flag. That's our first real flag of the football game.
This flag is thrown by the referee, so this could be a holding call. It's a rough play call by the looks of it on the Huskies. And we'll have to see what it is if we can get the call.
The head referee for tonight's match is Brendan Murphy. The umpire is Kyle Miller. Here's Brendan Murphy.
Edmonton, number 56. That 15-yard penalty is applied as a dead ball foul. 2nd down.
Now the problem with this is these officials are calling this a lot. This was later in the play. The guy's going in to make the tackle, and if you take a look at the replay, he gets a shot from the left. I think it was left guard on the play.
Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna, and it was a good hit, but they're going to call that now, and it's tough on the players because they're used to hitting. That's what they do, and they're basically taking that away from the players.
All right, they went to the well just once too often to Jimmy Airy on that sort of semi-screen pass, screen shovel, and it just didn't go. It went incomplete, so it'll be 3rd and a whole pile to go for the Huskies, and they'll have to kick this one away into a 40-kilometer-an-hour gusting wind here at Clarke.
And this is the thing again. You know, you'd like to get a low kick angled and maybe get a bounce, but it's difficult. You put it up, that ball's going to sit right back on you.
They've got Sam Clayton as the onside man. There's a good spiraling kick into the wind, comes down to about the 32-yard line, and plowing ahead for a gain of close to 10 yards was number 18, again, Josh Iwanchina.
That was a very good punt into the wind, but the returner makes a very nice play on this. The ball drops, he catches it basically with one hand, and then he gets upfield quickly. He got a pretty good little return out of this.
Little scary though when it bounces like that and you try and grab it with one hand.
Yeah.
All right, single setback. There's the handoff straight up the middle. It is the Saskatoon Hilltops all the way to the center field stripe, and the handoff taken by Adam Mackart. Mackart, the heir apparent to Logan Fisher, who, as we mentioned at the beginning of the game, is out for at least another week or so.
You look at this, it's just a very quick, almost a dive play, and Vince Schiffner had to come over from his Sam linebacker position to make that tackle.
Gain of about 13. It'll be 1st and 10. Ball on the center field stripe. There's the pitch out left side. Once again taken by Mackart. Mackart is taken down just over the 50-yard line, and there is another flag on the play. This one thrown by the back judge.
Looks to me like we're going to get holding on the Hilltops.
Flag down on the play.
And, you know, these things happen on those wide plays.
Saskatoon, number 73.
Those wide plays, they reach block, and they tend to get their arms outside. And what happens, they let them get away with it till a point where the defender fights off, and then they see a tug of a jersey, they'll flag you every time. And you have to make that call.
And that'll bring up 1st down over.
So repeat 1st down, and it'll be 20 yards. Hilltops bringing some players out. including number 84, Joe Trumpy, out of Holy Cross High School in Saskatoon, third-year man.
Now, I would suspect, Dave, that we are going to see a pass on this play, that go back to that intermediate passing game, very quick passes, and there it is.
Ball is, it looked to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's well short of the intended receiver, but a good job by that Husky defensive line to step up.
They came up hard, and I'm not sure it was the line or the linebacker. That was Bergmeyer, I believe, a very tall defensive end, got his hand up on it.
Donovan Bergmeyer, veteran defensive lineman. One of the team leaders in tackles too this season. Again, single setback. There's that little bit of a delay to Mackert. Mackert is over the 50 to the 45 and is taken down just shy of the 45 at about the 46-yard line. And again, that quick delay. And boy, I'll tell you what, Mackert's got some great speed through the line.
They had a hat on everybody on that defensive front, including the linebackers. That was extremely well blocked by the Hilltops. They get off the ball, they get on him, and then just let him find the seam. And you look at it, that was about a 19-yard gain, and it's now 3rd and 1.
Jordan Walls, the quarterback. Here's the pass out onto the sidelines. It is intercepted. No, they rule it incomplete. They're saying that Wande took it out of bounds, but nevertheless, it's a turnover.
Well, the biggest part of it is, yeah, it's a turnover, and for the Huskies, it's better that it was incomplete. He'd have been tackled and gone out of bounds down there. Now they've got it up on the 46-yard line. But what fine coverage by Wande. You can't play it better than that.
Wande, in only his 3rd game as an Edmonton Husky, has really come along quickly since joining this team 3 weeks ago, or make that about a month ago. There's a second man through on that reverse.
Now that's that little cross buck they do where they got both Jimmy Airy and Brent Burzak in the backfield. And they just cross over, fake to one man, give to the other. What is happening here, though, is the defensive front of the Hilltops is doing a better job on the Husky offensive line than what the Husky defensive line is doing on the offensive line of the Hilltops.
Rolling out this way, looking downfield, Lonhart's pass incomplete, just over the outstretched hands of the receiver number 9, Connor Bergerson.
This is a little roll action, sets up, throws, tries to come back on the ball, but good coverage, and again you're throwing into the wind, and it hung up just a little bit.
Wind getting stronger almost by the minute here at Clarke Park. We talked with both coaches before the game, and they suggested that, yeah, they may have to change their game plans a little bit. There is the block kick, and Cole Sabarin is down on his knees. He was hit hard. It is going to be a touchdown.
Touchdown, and they might have lost their punter on this one. They came right through his leg. And that's totally legal, what he did. I mean, it's perfect. They came in and blocked it, came right through him, but he snapped him up. That hurts.
Sabarin walking off the field under his own steam, but nevertheless the blocked kick and the recovered fumble in the end zone for the touchdown for the Saskatoon Hilltops. And I believe in there to recover it was Adam Benkich out of Walter Murray High School in Saskatoon.
And I don't know what type of a stunt they ran on that, but whatever they did, it totally fooled the Huskies because they had 3 people come flying in free on that punt. And it was an extremely well-executed punt block.
They had a lot of players come in, too.
They did.
It's almost
here it is here on the left side. They just bury through. There's 2 guys clean right through the ball. And, you know, again, that's hard on the punter, but it's a well-executed punt block by the Hilltops. Right now, the Huskies are getting outplayed.
All right, let's go downstairs. Here's Kevin once again.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. And as the coach mentioned, Coach McLean turned around and told his players, it's one play. It's time to reset, get back into this thing. Don't let it shock you. Don't let it affect you. Let's just get back on offense and get the and move the sticks. But Coach McLean down here on a very quiet sideline is definitely pleading and preaching for calm down here on the Husky sideline, because right now, as the coach mentioned, they're in a little bit of a shell shock here, guys.
And with 5:14 to go in the first quarter, it's a 10-0 football game in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops. And really, this is the one thing that Ian McLean did not want to see happen, and that is get the Hilltops out early into the lead.
And especially when they have the win like this. Of course, this is exactly what Tom Sargent wanted by taking the win. Get in there and take advantage of it and score points while you've got it. It's going to be an interesting situation now to see how the Huskies come out of this, and do we get prepared and do we attack? What I'm going to be looking for on this kickoff return is, do they get over the 35? Because on the first one, they didn't get to the 25. And that isn't good enough on a kickoff return.
All right, Burzik and Jimmy Airy awaiting this kickoff on about the 5-yard line. That breeze picking up more so that they now need someone to hold the football before the kickoff. There's a good end-over-end kick. It'll come down to Burzik at about the 5-yard line. The blocking formation forms, and Burzik crashes ahead over the 25 to about the 26, and there is a flag on the play.
Usually when we see a flag down like that, it's a holding call or illegal block of some kind, which will hurt the Huskies dramatically because it'll be 10 yards from point of infraction.
Guys, Kevin here down on the sideline. You know, we talked about this Husky sideline being a bit shell-shocked, and a players-only meeting happening down here on the sideline. So the players now, some of those veterans that were introduced, some of those graduating players, gathering the rest of the players together and saying, it's still early, we can do this. Guys?
It is early. And another penalty against the Huskies brings the ball all the way back to about the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. 5:09 to go in the first quarter. Still lots of football left, no question about that, and I'm sure the Huskies are aware of that. There's the handoff right side. That is Brant Burzik. Burzik ahead to about the 40-yard line, and a gain of close to 30 yards on the play.
It's a well-executed play, Dave, and if you take a look at the replay here, they blitz the outside linebacker on this side, and they block everybody else up, and he gets a nice seam. Big first down.
All right, 30 yards on that play. 1st and 10 for the Huskies on the 40-yard line. There's the quick pass into the middle. It is over the head of the intended receiver, Harrison Cable. Cable couldn't quite get to that one, and it'll be another 2nd down and 10.
Again, when you see this is a blitz, and they bring them. Here comes two linebackers, and Lonhart has to get rid of it quickly, and the receivers were not ready. And this is Tom Sargent defense. Be aggressive. Let's get after it. But usually he blitzes in his own territory. What they, from the Hilltops point, minus territory. Now they're doing it in plus territory.
All right, back in the pocket now. Looking downfield is Brad Lonhart. He'll take off with it. He has some room and slides down just shy of about the 50-yard line to around the 47-48. Lonhart getting up slowly.
There's a flag here, and they are flagging the Hilltops on this for they did not. He slides, and he goes down. Here comes the defender coming in right at the same time. And, you know, I don't know. I don't like this call. I'm glad for the Huskies that they get it. But that man is coming full speed, and he goes down at the last second. He goes and meets him, and he gets a penalty. I think it's what the rules are. It's what they're calling today. I think it's a bad rule. It's bad for the game.
Lonhart got up slowly, favoring his back and just giving a little bit of a stretch. So hopefully he'll be all right. There are 3 flankers to the far side of the field. There's the handoff right up the middle to Burzik, and Burzik crashes through for a gain of close to about 7 yards on the play. A little quick opener for Burzik, and he gets some good yardage.
Now what you're seeing here, Dave, all of a sudden now the Husky offensive line is getting off the ball better. They're getting into the defensive front and opening those seams. And Burzik is a little quicker than Jimmy Airy. So he pops that seam. He doesn't have the great breakaway speed, but he does have the quickness, so he's able to get that 8-10 yards.
Burzik is the lone setback. 3 flankers to the far side, 2 to this side. Again, Burzik with the football, and a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Looks like it'll be enough for the first down. He needed to get to around the 38-yard line, and it looks like they'll mark it down at the 37, and it'll be enough for the first down.
Good play again, good enough surge, and Burzak comes in low and got enough for the first down. And that's the importance for young running backs to see, stay low. You stay low, you got a good chance to keep your forward momentum going, and it will get you the first down.
Burzak, no trouble staying low. He's only 5'6", and 170 pounds. There's a mix-up in the backfield again on that zone read, and a little bit of a mix-up between. It looked like number 2, Connor Mickle, and
it looked
Brad
to me
Lonard.
on this that he was going to hand it, and because they pulled the guard on it, and either Mickle didn't take it or Brad saw something and just pulled it at the last second and went. But he ended up getting less than a yard.
Now it'll be second. We'll call it 2nd and 9. 3 flankers, far side, 2 this side, back in the pocket, looking downfield, now being chased out of the pocket. There's a pass. It is out of bounds and intended down there. It looks like it was number 86, Zach Desiatnik.
I don't know if they're going to show this again, but again, this is a Tom Sargent defense. You get that second in long, in plus territory. Here comes the blitz. They're bringing everybody, and Brad has to get out of there. He threw that ball away. He's made sure that nobody get it, and they'll punt it, and they'll try to pin him in there now.
The veteran, Brad Lonhart, showing his experience getting that ball away. Now Cole Sabourin back out there, and he's going to be called for
Timeout, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon calls a timeout.
They only had 11 players on the field, and one thing about Tom Sargent and his coaching staff, they see that they're going to take that timeout immediately. They don't want a veteran like Cole Sabourin to be able to see that and all of a sudden get free and run for the first down.
And it's I think everybody in the park here is happy to see that Cole Sabourin is back out there.
Everybody is. He's had a fine season. He's a very fine young man. And you remember, he had an injury last year, which kept him out the last part of the season.
That's right.
And as I said previously, the punt block by Saskatoon Hilltops, extremely well executed. Nothing dirty about it or anything, just an extremely well-run play. And just thankful that Cole wasn't hurt.
Minute 48 to go in the first quarter. It's 13 to nothing in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops over the Edmonton Huskies. Final game of the regular season here in the Prairie Football Conference for both these teams. Winner takes all. Winner gets home field advantage for the rest of the playoffs. First place, and there's a low driving kick all the way down into the end zone. It'll be taken there and grounded by number 81, Adam Iwanchina. And what a great kick from Cole Sabourin.
You know, I look at Cole Sabourin and that. You remember a young man by the name of Bob Cameron, punter for Winnipeg Blue Bombers? He might have been the best punter in the CFL into the wind. And that's exactly what Cole did. A low line drive. They cut into the wind. You can get good distance on them. Extremely well executed punt and good coverage.
So the Huskies on the scoreboard, trailing 13-1. They mark the ball down at the 35-yard line. And the Hilltops offense with Adam Iwanchina flanked to the far side of the football field. There's the handoff up the middle, going nowhere. That Huskies defensive line and the linebackers just closing in on that one. The handoff again was to number 20, Adam Mackert, but not this time.
You had Bryce Lee from the nose, and you had Donovan Bergmeyer from the end, and Vince Schiffner, the Sam linebacker, all fill on that at the same time.
So the gain is about a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9 into the final minute of play here in this first quarter. Back in the pocket now, Jordan Walls looking into the middle. The pass is incomplete. Looked to be ticked by one of the linebackers just at the last second and over the outstretched hands of the intended receiver, and that was number 80, John Brown.
Now, if you look at it, Dave, in this, it's they throw it down the seam, and he got behind the guys, but I think somebody did get a finger on that ball. And interestingly enough, now the defense like the offense has turned the corner. Like they stopped them 2 and out. And that's what they needed here. Now can the offense move the ball?
Huge stop, and now with the wind, good driving kick down to about the 35-yard line. And taken there by Keaton Zachikowski. Zachikowski brings it ahead close to about 5 yards or so. And good field position for the Edmonton Huskies.
Now the one thing I noticed with that, the Saskatoon Hilltop cover unit was down extremely fast because that was not a high kick. So to get down as quick as they did, they really had to hustle. Keaton did a very smart thing. He just went straight up the field and he got 5 yards. If he'd have tried to go lateral with the way that coverage was, he would have lost yardage.
Brad Lonhart at quarterback. Brent Burzik is the lone setback. He gets the handoff to the left side and will move forward about maybe 2 or 3 yards or so.
Now what we were seeing different here again from the Huskies, or from the Hilltops, this is the first, take a look at another blitz on first down for the Hilltops. The Huskies are in minus territory. Usually they don't blitz there. So they want to take the Husky run game away right now. That was a run blitz. All they did was cancel the gaps hard.
Jimmy Airy was the ball carrier. Airy still in there. There's the pass on this side. It is complete to Bergerson. And Bergerson is going to be shy of the first down. He picked up maybe a couple. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
3rd and 5, and after that blitz, what do? Just a straight rush, get back into zone coverage, and they executed their coverage very well. And the Huskies are not getting people into the holes in the zone for first down yardage. That's something Coach Waters will be working with them on in the sideline to make sure we get there.
All right, let's go downstairs. Here is Kevin once again.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. You know, coming up at the half, we will have a representative of the Huskies to talk about what could be a perfect regular season with 3 quarters of football left to go. Of course, the Huskies have their eyes on perfection, and it's been a very magical season for this franchise with the unveiling of their Hall of Fame and, of course, the big trip to Winnipeg, the road trip last weekend. But the Huskies have 3 quarters to go and down 10, but we'll have a representative of the Huskies, and we'll talk about the upcoming playoffs next weekend and the rest of this ball game. So stay tuned right here on ICU Video as we continue with the battle for first place, and a great way to close things out here in the regular season, guys.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate that. And, of course, as always, the Edmonton Huskies have some great sponsorship this season, led by the Hertz Equipment Rental folks, Edmonton Eskimos, Glenn Sather's Sports Medicine Clinic, the Eskimo Excavators Limited, and, of course, FC Edmonton, who are still struggling a little bit, but still in the running for a playoff berth in the North American Soccer League, and all kinds of things happening with the NASL and FC Edmonton as well. So that will proceed as the season goes on. And they could be playing soccer down here in the snow in those little shorts.
That would break me up. I know one thing. I won't be here to see it. If it's cold like that, I'll be inside.
Ah, well. So the Huskies will be kicking this one away.
Those guys got to have those games at this time of year. They got it. That's when they have to go south. You know, they got to help these guys out a little bit.
Well, they would, but there's no really good soccer field in South Edmonton, so. You walked into that one.
I did, yeah, I did. Absolutely.
Savarin to kick with the win for the first time in this game. It's going to be a kick. Savarin, of course, known for that kind of move. And there's a good one down to about the 30-yard line. It's taken by Iwanchina, and Iwanchina is hammered along the sidelines. Not sure who was in there to make the hit. 53. Chase Elwood out of the H.J. Cody Lakers in Sylvan Lake.
Defensive end, and he brought the heat on that one. Now that ball hung, and the returner again got upfield, got plus yardage on it. But it was a good punt and a good job stringing it out by Cole. Take the pressure off.
Rolling to his right now. This is Jordan Walls. Walls' pass is complete on the sidelines. just over the outstretched hands of the receiver, or the defender rather, Gaetano Minto. Just reached up to try and knock that one down, couldn't quite get to it.
Minto was a little slow in getting to his depth. He got to the flat okay, but he has to get more depth on that. And he was a little slow on it, and he was able to get the ball over top of his outstretched hand.
All right, ball is now on the 52-yard line in Husky territory. There's the handoff. Mackert cuts across and keeps going through a maze of tacklers, and finally, after carrying half the team, he is put down just shy of the 25-yard line. What a job of running by Adam Mackert.
Excellent job of running, and this again for young running backs. Keep your feet moving. Little trap action there. Runs through one tackle, runs through another one, runs through another one. He's got 3 guys on him. Those legs keep going. That's how you have to run a football.
That brings the football all the way down to about the 26-yard line. Once again, the Hilltops knocking on the door. There's the handoff to Mackert. Mackert tries the right side and is stopped after a gain of perhaps a yard or so.
Again, very similar play, but this time the Husky front, they just closed it down. Linebackers and the nose guard.
Bryce Lee, of course, one of the graduating players. This will be his last season with the Edmonton Huskies. Been with them for the last 5. Become an all-star. There's the pitch out left side. Mackert has it. Mackert gets around the outside and is stopped. Coming up from his linebacker position to help out was number 42, Zach White.
Zach White, middle linebacker, Jason Brown, and Justin Hodinsky, the safety, all got over there. It was a very good job by the defense because it was fairly well blocked by the Hilltops.
And so they will be shy of a first down by a good 5 yards, perhaps 6. And it'll be field goal time into the wind for the Hilltops. And this one will come from about the 29-yard line.
The way the wind's blowing, this should not be a problem for the kicker. It might be a problem if they get pressure on him.
The ball is up. It is going to go wide. Taken in the end zone, out over the goal line to about the 5 or 10-yard line. And again, we have a penalty flag way back where the kicker was, and it's going to go against the Huskies, it looks like.
Brought out of the end zone by Jimmy Area, and we've got a flag down.
Let's see what the call is.
It's holding against the Huskies by the looks of it. I don't understand this call. It's got to be after the ball was missed from when I believe the flag was thrown, which would mean it'll be on the 10-yard line, first down for the Huskies.
Dead ball foul?
Well, it could be. It's
Illegal block. Edmonton, number 15.
Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal.
So first on the
down.
10. On the 10-yard line. Instead of the 20, when he brought it out, it automatically comes to the 20. 10-yard penalty, gets it back. But these are the things that are hard on the coaches. You're down in your own zone. Even if you got the wind at your back, it can be difficult down here.
Lonhart at quarterback. Handoff. Jimmy Airy has some room and then is stopped just as he gets into that secondary. Is hammered hard and is still down.
Brought down on the play by number 44, Cody G.
He's hurt. They didn't get a block on one of the linebackers, and he just came across hard on Jimmy. You see him come across right here. There's the hit right there, and it's a helmet-to-helmet hit, and he's down. Now that's one of those things, again, that's something that should never be called as a penalty because both players were low, going hard, and those things happen. But he took a good shot in the helmet. And now you end up, he still got about 8 yards, so it's 2nd and 2.
Well, it looks like he may be suffering the effects of that helmet-to-helmet, as you mentioned. And again, perfectly legal, even though you don't like to see.
Yeah, and
legal maybe isn't the right word, but right now, I mean, with both players are as low as they are. I mean, he's got his head down, he's plowing forward, and the linebackers coming at him at about the same level.
And this game is played at such speed at this level, Dave, and you know, you're going to get those hits, and you want to deliver them also. And the thing is that both of them were low, both coming in, where the problem was that Jimmy took it in the temple and from the crown of the head of the linebacker. Now, if a defensive end hit a quarterback like that, that would be a penalty. They'd call him. But in this case, you can't call it because they're both going, you know, both going hard.
Well, he'll be going through the protocol, and we'll put Kevin to work down there in the field just to see exactly what the situation is. There's the handoff this time to Burzik. Burzik plows ahead up to about the 20-yard line, and he's going to be very close to a first down. See where they mark it. He needed to get to just about the 20.
He's got it. It's like you say, it was enough. A very good cut by Burzik, got up the field on it. And now, no huddle, high tempo offense.
Burzik, the lone setback. There's the handoff into the middle. Burzik finds some room. He crosses the 30 to about the 31-yard line, and another first down.
Again, little zone action, and he bursts it right up the middle. And you see his quickness. Burzik has some real explosion in him.
Harrison Cable comes to the bench. Three flankers to this side. And again, the sweep to this side to Burzik. Burzik is run out of bounds. And we're going to have a penalty against the Huskies, and it's probably going to be a holding.
You would think from this position it would be, but let's wait and see what the call is. It is a hold. See if we can get a number.
Brendan Murphy is the
Holding.
head official.
Edmonton, number 34. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So the call will go against Jacob Battenfelder.
When you look at this on the film, I don't know how they called this holding. He was up on the numbers and he kept his feet moving. He never got outside the numbers on him. One of those things, but to me it was not a good call.
All right, well, all kinds of flags down there, and they all came out at the same time, so obviously.
Edmonton, number 56 and 69. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Now this is a situation where there's a possibility that the center missed the count, because when you have one fella coming off, that's one thing. When you get two or three coming off, that's another story. But this puts the Huskies in a very difficult situation. And now I would not be a bit surprised if Tom Sargent blitzes, although he's not showing it right now. 1st
and 25 for the Huskies. Back in the pocket, looking downfield, passes off to the right side to Burzik. Burzik fumbles the football, and they're going to say that he was down by contact.
He was definitely down. Again, they got enough pressure on, and you look here that Lonhart wasn't able to set up and throw. And this is the type of thing that when you get pressure on teams, the offense makes mistakes.
Gain of about 5 or 6. It'll be 2nd and 20. Looking way downfield, throwing with the wind. It's going to be almost picked off, overthrown to Harrison Cable. And there's an issue we've talked about before. When you're with the wind, you can tend to throw it overthrow it.
Absolutely.
Let's go downstairs. Here's Kevin.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. And down here on the Huskies sideline, and 4 members of the medical staff around Jimmy Airy right now, and a lot of concern running him through the concussion protocol. Head coach Ian McLean even stopped in. Burzik has stopped in to give him his best wishes. But right now, a lot of concern on the sideline for Jimmy Airy, guys, and we'll keep an eye on things down here on the sideline. Guys, back up to you.
Well, we can only hope for the best for Jimmy Airy in his final year with the Huskies. Here's a kick. It's a low driving kick down over the 50-yard line, taken there by Iwanchina. He finds some room up the middle and is taken down from behind by Wesley Bookland.
Here's a case where that was not a good punt. It was low. He doesn't get height on it. And you look at the return, straight up the field. Hard to get your angles, and it's easy to get blocking angles there, but it's hard to get your contain angles. So they end up with real good field position and plus territory.
Single setback. Back in the pocket now, looking to the far side of the football field, and it is well out of bounds. Intended there for Sam Mike. But, you know, speaking of that run back, the Huskies weren't down the field as quickly as what the Saskatoon Hilltops were on their last punt.
No, that's exactly right. And this is showing in all the special teams. The kickoffs are showing the same thing. And you can tell a lot about a team being ready for a game through their specials.
All right, rolling to his right, Jordan Wall's pass. It is incomplete. Intended on the far side for number 80, John Brown. And Brown, who comes into this game with 5 receptions and 118 yards, but is also the punter for this Saskatoon Hilltops team. And he's got a pretty good 36.3 yard average, very close to Cole Sabourin, actually.
Not bad, but on that last play, the Huskies brought heat. They brought both those wide linebackers to give a 5-man rush, and he got rid of the ball a little earlier than he wanted to.
All right, kicking into the wind now, John Brown. 8:37 to go in the first quarter, or second quarter rather. There's a high floating kick down to about the 20-yard line. It's taken there by Connor Mickle, and Mickle dipsy-doodles his way up to just shy of the 30-yard line.
Now, in that case, he tried to get wide and then reversed a little bit, but the second he saw a seam, he turned upfield and got plus yardage. That's a pretty good return.
All right, we'll see where they mark the ball down.
Here
it's
it
going
comes.
to be.
Now, you watch this. He'll go a little to his left. Now stop, come back, watch the seam, and there he goes right up the field. Now, I didn't get a lot of yardage, but he got plus
15-yard penalty.
There's a UR on the play as well, and it's going to bring the football all the way back to about the 12-yard line. And Huskies,
well, they're putting themselves in difficult situation with these penalties, and Coach McLean will not be happy with it.
Tommy Yanchuk now at quarterback. Yanchuk, as you would expect, takes off with it all the way up to the 20-yard line. He's going to be shy of the first down by about 2 yards, but now a little bit of just a change of pace.
Little change up, and now they're going double tight. They're bringing in Jacob Battenfelder and Morgan Runge, and now you're going to see a little bit with Tommy Yanchuk. Is he going to run it himself? Is he going to hand it off?
Well, Yanchuk likes to run the football. There's no question about that. That's his 15th carry of the season so far, and he has well over 100 yards with the football and fumbles at this time on the handoff, or attempted handoff to Connor Mickle.
There's a case. I don't think he even had the snap right, and it looked to me. And take a look here. He gets it. He fumbles right off the snap, tried to pop it back to Mickle, and it didn't go. These are things you set up a play to take advantage of some things, and when that happens, it blows everything up.
Yep.
Now they have to punt. Right now, all the momentum is in the Hilltops' favor. They are doing something that the Huskies didn't want to see happen. They're controlling field position against the wind.
Showing blitz, taking off with it, and deciding to kick it downfield anyway to the center yard stripe was Cole Sabourin. It goes over the hands of Iwanchina, and Iwanchina is pinned all the way back at about the 48-yard line.
And that's why you do these types of running punts. You can get the ball low. You can get it going end over end at times. And you watch this now. When he kicks it, it's nice and low. But when it hits the ground and the receiver dropped it and go back, it gave the contained people time to get down there.
It looked like one of those knuckleball type footballs.
Absolutely,
they're really hard to control once they
very
bounce.
much so.
There's that handoff to Mackert. Mackert's got all kinds of room and finally hauled down at about the 45-yard line. There will be a horse collar tackle called on this one.
You know what amazes me on these, and again, it's a rule, and I understand the back judge making this call. I think it's a bad rule. If he got on the face mask, that's one thing. But he came down over the shoulders. That should never be a horse collar.
No.
And if you grab the horse collar or grab the collar, I agree with it. But down low on the jersey, over the shoulder, should be never called.
So that moves it a further 15 yards down the field to about the 29-yard line.
Oh, boy. I don't think he did not touch that face mask. You look at it again.
Up the middle, intended, well, it could be intended for one of two receivers down there, but it looked like it was going out to number 83, Jason Price.
They brought some heat on that play, and the quarterback overthrew his receivers. He had one receiver wide open.
And one step and release for Jordan Walls. Like you said, got it away just a little bit too quickly. Now rolling out to this side. Walls reverses his field. There's the pass complete on the far side to Mackert, and Mackert will be stopped after a gain of about maybe 3 yards or so. We'll see where they mark it down. A gain of about a yard.
Played very well defended, Dave, and the Huskies defense is coming up strong here. They're doing quite well.
They read that misdirection. So it'll be third and about 8 yards. They're going to go for this one. Ball on the 26-yard line. Back in the pocket now, looking into the end zone. He has a man open, incomplete, and intended out there once again for number 83, Jason Price, but he was being well covered on the play.
That was Gaetano Minto, and he was right on the whole way. It was good coverage. And it's very difficult. The quarterback had to throw the ball on the line. If you put air under the ball on a deep ball here, it's just going to sit up. You see how he's right with him the whole way. So you had to throw that ball low, and it has to be the perfect ball. Very difficult to do into the wind.
And so the Huskies defense holds once again. And with 5:21 to go in the first half, trailing by a score of 10-1, the Huskies have the football. This is Lonhart now. Lonhart with the pass. It is incomplete. Thrown a little high for Brant Berzik. Couldn't handle that one.
And again, part of that reason is the Hilltops bring a little bit of heat. The Huskies allow it in on this play, but it's a fairly tall player, and Lonhart has to go over him, and it just got a little high on Berzik.
All right, 2nd and 10. Ball on the 26-yard line. Back in the pocket, looking into the middle. The pass is incomplete, actually behind the intended receiver, number 80, Sam Clayton.
We have a roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer. Saskatoon, number 43. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So roughing the passer call on Riley Pickett. And that'll bring the football.
I don't know if we'll see this on the replay. I guess not. That's a big thing for the Huskies. Now they're starting to get a little momentum, even if it's by penalty. They're getting into mid-range territory.
Up to the 42-yard line. There's the pass. It is going to be incomplete. And again, hurried on the play, but intended out there for Connor Bergerson. Just couldn't quite get to it in time.
Now, if you look at the passes that we're doing here, and take a look what the Huskies are doing, we're not sharp on these. You take a look, whether it's the receiver or the quarterback, they're not hitting on the money. And on those short intermediate passes, the wind has nothing to do with it. That's just not getting together.
Lonhart rolling to this side now, throws into the middle. It is complete. Bergerson at the 50, gets away from one tackle to the 40, to the 35, and is run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. What a great job of not only catching that football, but the yak yards after it by Connor Bergerson.
Now again, if you went the play before, you look at it, and who are they at? They're going to Bergerson, right? And they didn't connect. This one, they run a bootleg, bring them across, and they connect on it. And like you say, tremendous job of running by him and good blocking by the Huskies downfield.
All right, now back in the pocket again and looking deep into the end zone. It is incomplete. The ball intended out there for number 87, Christopher Edmond. And, we're going to get a look at this one, but it was close.
This is close. They brought two tight ends in there and just let two guys go down. Boy, he had a hold of them.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that I think the coaches will be upset with that.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball on about the 33-yard line. Back in the pocket now, looking straight downfield. Pass into the middle. It is complete to Connor Mickle at the 15-yard line, and that is more than enough for the first down.
Real nice little play here. Just sat him down in the hole, and away he goes up for the ball. Good ball by Lonhart.
16 yards on the play.
Berzik is the lone setback. Two flankers to this side, double tights, and there's the pass. It is on the outside, complete at about the 15-yard line, and tackled at around the 12 was, again, number 2, Connor Mickle.
Now, one thing that the Huskies have done here, and we'll see if they still do it, you'll see in comes Battenfelder. So they're going to get a little more blocking power in here, and because they're expecting blitz in this case. And we'll see what play they run. They don't have a lot of yardage to go for the first down. And the first down is what's important here.
Motion goes left. Lonhart goes right, and it is intercepted at the 10-yard line, as Lonhart got rid of that one a lot sooner than he wanted to, and it was picked off easily by Luke Melnick. Let's go downstairs. Here's Kevin.
Well, thanks, Dave. Major injury update down here on the Huskies sideline. Jimmy Airy, the gloves are off, the helmet is set aside, and he's just undone the straps on his shoulder pad. So I would say his return is very, very much in doubt, as he is dealing with, looks like, the effects of a concussion, guys. But he is in great hands with the Husky medical staff. But it looks like Jimmy Airy's night is over, guys.
Just looking at him while you were talking, Kevin, and he had his hands, or his head in his hands, and looks like he's got a bit of a headache. There's the handoff to Mackert. Mackert is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Good play by the defense there. Now, the play before that Lonhart was intercepted on, he's going to be very upset with himself on that play. He should have held on to the ball. They would have had an opportunity for a field goal. Now, the Husky defensive front came up very strong on that last play. Will the Hilltops run this again, punt it out into the wind? I think they're going to pass the ball.
All right, it's 2nd and about 8. Looking to the right side. There's the pass. It is downfield. It is incomplete. And again, a great job of defending by Gaetano Minto.
That's 2 in a row that Minto has had coming over into his area, and he's played them both very well. Now again, you look on this as man coverage, and he just broke on the out with the receiver, turned back, saw it coming in, knocked it down.
So for the 3rd consecutive series, this Huskies defense has held, and the Hilltops will go 2 and out. From deep in their own territory, they'll get this football away by about the 5-yard line or so. And we're going to have an offside call. It will go against the Huskies.
This is a little bit undisciplined. Now, I think the Hilltops might back off into the end zone and give up a safety here. They're kicking into the wind. The Huskies are going to have pretty good position plus territory. I just have a feeling they might do this. Oh, it's against.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I'm positive that they will give up the safety here. Tom Sargent plays the percentages extremely well. And in this position with that wind blowing like it is, I don't think he'll punt out.
There's the snap, and you called that one, Coach. Wasting a little bit of time in the end zone.
Yeah, you teach your punters to do that. Take the clock off a little bit.
John Brown in place of Riley Keitler.
So now they'll be kicking off from the 35-yard line on this because of the safety. So the Husky return men can move up a little bit. And if you notice, the 2 kickoffs before, they got the ball on the 24-yard line. That's as far as they got. If that same thing holds, they should get to the 34 on this one. A good return kicking off from the 25. They should be, or from the 35, they should be over the 45-yard line on a return, if it's a good return.
The Huskies with the win for the last 2 minutes and 6 seconds of this first half. They trail by a score of 10-3. And certainly after a very shaky first quarter, the defense in particular has really settled down here for the Huskies. and that's got to be good going into the dressing room at halftime.
Well, what is happening here is we're getting Hilltop Husky football. And at this time of year, it's just hard hitting out there, as you saw with the injury to Jimmy Airy. And it's going to be that way the entire game. Now he's hanging it up. They got to get to it.
And it will be down at the 45-yard line. It goes right into the hands of number 86 for the Huskies. That's Zach Desayetnik, and I don't think he was off balance when he caught it.
He sat down. That's where they wanted the ball. They didn't want to try to get him going. The blocking wasn't set up for it. They pooched that kick, trying to hope they could. The Hilltops pooched it, trying to get their people down there and seeing if they could get the ball. But the Huskies are in good field position here. They're happy with that.
On their own 45-yard line. Motion goes to the left. Rolling out now. Back in the pocket, firing complete at the center field stripe is Connor Bergeson. And Bergeson runs it all the way up past the 50-yard line. They'll mark it down at about the 48. And this combination of Brad Lonhart and Connor Bergeson is really clicking here in the second half.
You notice after that one where they mistimed it, since then they've been on fire. And Bergeson is just attacking these routes.
Bergeson flanked to this side now. Straight back into the middle, pass complete to Bergeson at the 30. And he is down at about the 28-yard line. And here comes that hurry-up offense.
And Bergeson wants the ball. Just give me the ball. I will catch everything you throw to me. And he's getting on a roll. And the Hilltops play a good zone defense.
Perzik with it at the 10, still going, and knocked down at about the 8-yard line.
Now you notice on that, if we take a look at the replay, you notice they bring a blitz and they pop a seam. Well, there's not a lot of people back there, so he's able to get a big first down.
First and goal, the ball on the 9-yard line. Pass complete on the far side to Connor Bergeson, and he will get just back to the original line of scrimmage on that.
Well defended. They're now in man coverage down there. Well defended on Bergeson. And now the Huskies, here they are with a second and goal. We'll see what they do. You know they're going to be passing the ball. I don't think they'll run here.
Motion goes to the left. Harrison Cable over on that side. Now rolling to his right is Lonhart. Lonhart into the end zone over the hands of the receiver, and a helmet-to-helmet collision there in the end zone. And we have an injured Connor Bergeson is the injured Husky. Watch this again, JB. Oh.
It was a shoulder. I think what it might be, he might have the wind totally knocked out of him, because that shoulder pad came right through him.
You're right, shoulder pad.
And, you know, that's football. One thing I will say on this, they blitzed, the Hilltops blitzed, and what Lonhart had to do is get rid of the ball a little earlier than he wanted to. And, you know, the coverage is good down there. They closed on Bergeson and shut it down. I think it'd be all right. He's just got to get his wind back, and he'll be ready to go. But they'll be going, I suspect. If we're looking here, is this third down now?
It'll be third.
I would suspect they'd go for a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Although Rick Waller's been known to gamble.
Well, you know, they're down by 7 points. It's 10-3 with 1:02 to go. They go for the touchdown, and suddenly it's a tie football game. If they go for the field goal, it's a 4-point football game. So
that's right. And if you miss the touchdown, it's a 7-point.
Yeah.
And I think
and 7 points is not that bad.
Well, no, it isn't. But you have the best place kicker in the league, and that's the thing I think you want to look at is, you know, how is it? Is the place kicker going to do it or not? But like I say, Coach Wallers and Coach McLean, they will gamble. No, you got the place kickers out there. They're going to go for it.
So Bergeson is leaning over the fence out there, trying to get his wind back. Here is the field goal attempt from about the 16-yard line. Ball is down, it's up, and it is through And halfway to Jasper Avenue from here.
That was a pretty good kick, but it was a tremendous job by the pinner, and I believe that's Justin Hodinsky, the pinner. That was not a good snap. He got that ball down perfectly. That is not easy to do. I don't know if we catch it on the replay, but if you watch it, Hodinsky does a marvelous job on snagging that ball and getting it on the tee. Here it is. See, it was a high snap, and it was, he got it down quick.
Connor Mickle doing the holding.
Mickle did a good job on that. Very good job.
So that brings the ball out to the 35-yard line with 59 seconds to go. 10-6 in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops. And the handoff to Mackard once again, and this time Mackard is piled up after a gain of about maybe a yard and a half or so.
This game is evolving into just a real well-coached and well-played ball game on the fronts. Straight zone play there, and the Husky front beat the Hilltop front. A few plays earlier, they broke one for like 20 yards. I mean, that's the way the game is going. So they're just going to keep working at it, both teams. And you look at the score, I think this is indicative of what we're going to see the rest of the game.
I see Huskies coach Ian McLean out there having a word with the head referee, Brendan Murphy, about something. And of course, you know, both coaches love to talk it up with the officials.
Well, and
especially Sarge.
I can tell you. Well, Sarge has been known to intimidate officials.
No.
You won't intimidate Brendan Murphy, and I know that from experience. But I can tell you that the biggest thing that you have out here is that they have missed some calls, and all they're doing is reminding them this is what they do. They're holding on this, etc. They're just trying to get a call.
There's the slant and the handoff again to Mackard, and again goes nowhere.
And you watch here, they walk everybody up, and so when they handed it off, the way it goes. Now this is interesting because the Huskies are going to get the ball back with time.
Zach White
and
in on the tackle, and Zach White in there replacing Brendan Vanderkorpet and doing a great job.
He's doing a very good job. He might not be quite as athletic as Vanderkorpet, but he's a very good linebacker. And this, as I say, this is interesting because if the Huskies get a return here, they could get in field goal range pretty quick. You've got 49 seconds to go. And I believe the Huskies, yes, they took a timeout. So the ball will not, or the clock will not start until the snap of the ball.
Guys, Kevin down here on the sideline, and the other thing to consider is that the wind here just within the last couple of minutes has picked up significantly, blowing out of the northwest. So that punt, as you mentioned, JB, is all the more important with 49 seconds to go here in the half. Guys, back up to you, and the wind has picked up again.
We're watching the ribbons on top of the goalposts, and yeah, they're straight out now.
The Huskies have to make sure they pick up the punter, that he does not get across that line of scrimmage or get down chasing a short punt.
Great kick into the wind. It'll come down to about the 42-yard line, taken there by Connor Mickle, and Mickle still on his feet and finally stopped. Gain of maybe a yard or so on the play, but a good job nevertheless by Connor Mickle hauling that one down. It was going straight, and then all of a sudden it just dropped on a 90-degree angle.
The only problem that Mickle did here, he didn't play the clock. If he just got upfield, got down, now you got more time. He ate up about 4 or 5 extra seconds, which could be time for a pass or two.
All right, ball is on the 43-yard line. First down for the Huskies. Motion goes to this side. Back in the pocket, looking to the middle. The pass is complete to Connor Mickle. And another flag in the backfield, and I think we're going to have another roughing the passer.
It is roughing the passer, so that's 15 added on. They're now in field goal range.
Well, you know,
30 seconds to go, so now they can start looking toward the end zone for shots.
Roughing the passer. Saskatoon, number 59. 15 yards to the end of the play. First down.
So they just keep marching that ball downfield. And they will mark it at about the 28-yard line. And John, we've said so many times, this is a game of momentum, and all of a sudden the momentum seems to have shifted. Back in the pocket, looking into the end zone, the ball is complete, touchdown! Zach Desayatnik in behind 2 defenders.
Now again, we've talked about this, throwing with this wind on a deep ball. If you notice, Brad Lonhart put that on a line. He had to. If he put air under that ball might have gone out of the end zone. This is an excellent pass, excellent route by the receiver. You end up with a touchdown.
Zach Desayatnik with his 3rd touchdown of the season for the Edmonton Huskies, and that puts them in the lead for the first time in this football game by a score of 12-10. Here's the point after, and it's a 13-10 football game with 24.5 seconds to go in the first half. What a comeback.
Well, it is, it's a change. That first quarter, it was looking pretty ugly, but if you notice, and Kevin talked about this earlier, about Coach McLean talking with his guys, just don't panic, just keep cool, focus on our job, and let's get the job done. Let's get out and play. When bad things happen, the great teams, and in the Hilltops are very similar. Bad things will happen, they'll just come back and play hard. That's what you have to do. Literally, they turned that defensive back right around, and I believe that was his own coverage.
That was great shot of the celebration on the Huskies bench on that touchdown by Zach Desayatnik, his 3rd of the season. Came into this football game with a total of 12 receptions for 216 yards. He has really come into his own just in the last 2 or 3 games.
He has, and I'm very impressed with the way the Huskies use all their receivers.
He's a rookie out of Holy Rosary Raiders. Ball bouncing around in the end zone, and it's going to go out of bounds.
That's a point for the Huskies. So all of a sudden, from down 10, they're now up by 4.
So once again, the Iwanchina trying to haul that one down, just lost control of it. It went out of his hands.
It went right off his face mask, I think. And, you know, Dave, a line drive kick like that, these are hard to judge. And the returner's back there, and I think it ducked on him at the last second and right into the face mask. And
it's another one of those. It's another one of those knuckleball kicks that you ask a goaltender in soccer to try and control one of those on a round ball, and it's just going all over the place, just like a knuckleball, just like a Phil Necro knuckleball.
Boy, you are talking old timers here.
No, that's only because I've forgotten the name of that guy in Toronto.
If it's Toronto, it's easy to forget. The biggest thing here, if you look at the Hilltops, are just going to down it by the looks of it. Right now, the momentum has shifted dramatically into the Huskies' forte, and then they're ready to go. And this is great momentum going into the locker room at halftime. Tom Sargent has to take his guys in and regroup.
Just as Coach Ian McLean took his players aside in the first quarter and got them to regroup, and now it's Tom Sargent's turn to do the same with his football players, with a 14-10 football game in favor of the Edmonton Huskies over the Saskatoon Hilltops. We're going to go downstairs, and here's Ian and Kevin.
Well, thank you very much, Dave, and I'm with head coach Ian McLean of the Edmonton Huskies, and a difference in 2 quarters. Really, you really sees the momentum late in the second quarter, and you're going into the room with an unexpected lead.
Well, it's not unexpected. We got to play better. We should have the lead. I mean, we gave up a touchdown on a special teams play that shouldn't happen. Offense had some time to get going. Defense hunkered in. I mean, we've only given up 3 points on defense. So I mean, I'm proud of those guys the way they're playing. We got to make plays on offense. We got guys that are getting banged up in there. We got to make sure we got guys stepping up. And we got to make plays.
Now, one thing about the Hilltops in that first half, definitely the blitz was affecting Lonhart early in the first quarter. How are you going to adjust to that in the second half?
Our O-line's got to start playing better. Our O-line's got to start playing better. We start blocking better. I mean, football's not that complicated. Block and make plays.
Now, I mean, and when you've got the 2 best teams in the PFC on the field, you're going to expect this. You're in the middle of a classic game. What do you have to do to finish the second half and to finish this regular season with a perfect record?
Block and make plays, make tackles.
Okay, all right, there you go. There you have it with Ian McLean, the head coach. A few words, and his team is in a battle right now. They've seized the momentum. They have a 14-10 lead at the half after being down by 10 points throughout the first half, but Ian McLean is going into a very happy and very confident Huskies locker room right now, and they have a big job here in the second half. Guys, back up to you.
Well, you know, Ian McLean's got all kinds of cliches, but they're all exactly right on the money. You got to do your job. It's as simple as that.
And he said the game is a simple game, and that's very true. It really is a simple game. The teams that block and tackle the best usually win.
And that was the case certainly in that second quarter for the Edmonton Huskies. Let's take a look at some of the statistics, John. And surprisingly, well, we know that the Saskatoon Hilltops are a running football team. They love to run the ball. They don't have their number one runner with them in this football game, but nevertheless, they still come up with a pretty good yards rushing of 88 yards. But full measure to that defensive line led by Bryce Lee and Donovan Bergmeyer for the Huskies.
They did a good job starting toward the end of the first quarter and then through the second quarter. But the Hilltops running game is very good, and their offensive line is experienced. They've got only 2 young guys out of their starting 5. 3 are veterans, 4th and 5th year players, and they play very, very well. So you have to be on top of your game, especially in that 30 front. Your nose has to be able to take 2 people, and Bryce Lee does that constantly.
All right, we'll talk more about the statistics right after we hear once again from Kevin Donnan.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave, and I'm joined here at the half by Curtis Craig, the president of the Edmonton Huskies, and we both kind of stepped out of the way when Ian McLean was walking towards the room. This is a great football game tonight. It is physical and intense, and what a great night for your club and a great night for football in Edmonton.
It certainly is. It's no surprise, I think, to anyone. I think both sides expected a tough game. I mean, national champions, the Hilltops are the class of the league, and everyone expected the defenses both to rise to the challenge.
Now, what changed for the Huskies this year? You made the playoffs last year. That was a big step. But, I mean, to be one half away with a 4-point lead away from a perfect season, what changed for you in the offseason? How did this whole thing turn around?
Well, I think we'd actually have to go to halfway through last season. You could just see that there was a lot more confidence and positivity. And even like tonight, for instance, you get down early 10-0, and everyone believes that they're going to come back. So I think that's the biggest thing. That's what sort of we see the other teams in the PFC right now is some of them are where we were 2-3 years ago. It's like even if they're having a good game, everyone's on eggshells waiting for that mistake.
Now the Huskies have a shot at a perfect season. How are we going to get more? How are we going to fill Clarke Park for the playoffs? I mean, that's something that obviously you want to do, and obviously the Prairie Football Conference wants to do as well. What are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to really get the fans out and really get out and get behind this team as they take a run at a national championship, something that you haven't done in 12 years?
Well, I like to think that we're the best kept secret, unfortunately, in Edmonton. I guess we could have a little more cooperation with the weather too, because I mean, social media, it has been marketed, but nice cold night sort of kills the crowd. But and answer your question, I think the junior game is growing in popularity. It's just a matter of getting a winning program going again, and hopefully that'll bring more fans out.
Well, best of luck to you the rest of this game and the rest of the season. It's been fantastic to have the Huskies with us on ICU Video. Thank you very much, Curtis Craig, the president of the Edmonton Huskies. And let's send things back up to Dave Rozak and the coach, John Belmont. Guys?
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Appreciate that very much, Kevin. And
thank you, Dave.
John and I were just discussing some of the little nuances of the statistics sheet. And one of the ones thing that really stands out here is 3 pass completions out of only 13 attempts for Jordan Walls in that first half.
And if you notice, those 3 completions were early in the first quarter, and they were hitting very quickly. When the Huskies started getting pressure, all of a sudden he started releasing the ball when he didn't want to. And sometimes it was trajectory, sometimes it was throwing early, sometimes he had to move his feet and get out of the way to do it. So there's a lot of factors involved here. And for me, the biggest thing is the Husky pressure is making Walls throw when he doesn't want to. And that, if they can continue to do that, that means they're going to have to do it with a running game.
And that's the one way that you control some great receivers like Ryan Turple and Jason Price. Turple comes into this game with 32 receptions, 520 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he's been throwing the ball once in this whole football game.
And a lot of that is, again, when you have your defenders, you look how Gaetano Minno's playing when they're getting into man coverage. He's playing very tight on his men. He's an experienced defensive back. Wande is doing a great job for a young corner. And when you've got that kind of coverage, that's hard. Now the quarterback's holding the ball a little bit and now allows the rush to get to him. So you got a combination of factors going here, and the Husky defense is what is controlling this game for the Huskies. Their offense has done enough. You know, they've scored basically 1 touchdown, but they've done enough. And if this keeps going this way, I think they could very well win this ball game. Now, Tom Sargent is telling his guys in there, we got to control the line of scrimmage. We got to get this running game going. We have to block better and pick up the blitzes better. We got to release the ball quicker.
I think we talked at the beginning that the whole secret to this football game, because of the weather conditions and the wind and everything, is ball control. And if you take a look at the statistics, total offense 217 yards for the Huskies to only 116 for the visiting Saskatoon Hilltops. That tells me that the Huskies had a little bit more control of the ball in this football game so far than the Hilltops have.
They have, and you look especially in the first quarter how much they were having to dig out of their own zone, but sometimes by penalty, sometimes by punt, whatever it was. But they had to dig out, and so they got a fair amount of yards that didn't put them in the scoring range, but it got them out of trouble. Then their defense took over and started forcing things to happen. And when they did that, all of a sudden the field position started to change.
Exactly.
And if you look how the Huskies are doing, they're mixing up the pass and run quite well.
Team losses is where the Huskies kind of fell down in that first half. 50 yards, some really costly penalties that kept them deep in their own zone, especially in that first quarter.
That's true. And then if you look in the second quarter, Lonhart, he was holding on to the ball a little too long early. He got sacked a couple of times, forced the ball, and he had that one bad interception that he forced, and then I know he'd be very angry with himself with that. That being said, the Hilltops are getting heat on him. Then all of a sudden they started connecting, and when they remember that play that they ran that slant to Bergensen and they missed it, and the timing wasn't there or something wasn't there. Next play they came right back on another route to Bergensen, and Bergensen, he was mad. He went after that ball. After that, there's about 3 consecutive passes to Bergensen, and all of a sudden everything else opened up. And what happened with the offensive line of the Huskies? All of a sudden they started running a little bit of double tight. So now you've only got 2 receivers or 3 receivers out, but you've got maximum protection in there for Lonhart. And they kept connecting.
And it wasn't too long after that Bergerson actually got injured, had the wind knocked out of him in the end zone, and he was out of the football game for a couple of plays. But then that opens it up for Zach Desayatnik to get that great catch and a great throw by Brad Lonhart. As you mentioned, it was on a string, and it had to be because of this wind.
It had to be, and I don't think you can throw a ball better than what Brad did on that pass. And the receiver just made a wonderful ran a wonderful route and made a heck of a catch.
All right, let's go back down to Kevin on the field.
Well, thanks so much, Dave. And I'm here with Tom Sargent, the head coach of the 3-time defending national champions. And wow, you're in a real chess match here tonight.
Oh, unbelievable. You bet. You know, we got great momentum early, came out with a lot of intensity, but credit to the Edmonton Huskies. They held the water, and now, they flipped the balance. So we got to come up with a little bit different game plan and look to put our players in a little more successful spots.
So how do you how do you get the momentum back? First quarter, you were moving the ball fairly well, and the blitz was really throwing Lonhart off. How do you get the momentum back?
Well, we got to finish our plays. At the end of the day, our offense is keeping the defense on way too long, so we got to be productive with the offensive plays, and then defensively, Coach Yowes and Coach Sturck got to call a good game plan to make sure we're putting our players in good spots, because that number 9 is going up and down the field right now. So we got to come up with an answer.
Final question now. I mean, you've won 6 out of the last 7 national championships. Your team is used to pressure. What did you tell your guys at the half?
Well, real simple. At the end of the day, we lost momentum, and so we need to buck up. We took a couple dumb penalties, which is on me. That's bad coaching. And, we just got to clear our minds, get it right, and come out and execute the game plan better in the second half. And so stay tuned.
You bet. Stay tuned and stay right here. Good luck the rest of the way, Coach. And let's send things back up to Dave and the coach. And Coach Tom Sargent is ready to go. And you know what? This crowd is ready. The players are ready. And we're all ready here on ICU Video for an exciting 30 minutes of football in the battle for first place and home field advantage. And it's been a great game so far. And we're ready for the second half down here, Dave.
After listening to Tom Sargent, darn right I'm ready.
We're ready to go down here, Dave.
He's one of those guys that just gets you excited because he's always so excited.
Oh, and I'll tell you, the walls in that dressing room were blistered at halftime, I'll guarantee you. Tom is extremely competitive. He always has been. He's a very good coach. He's got a great coaching staff. Coach Yowzy is DC on that team. Was a safety when we were playing against some of those great years in the early 2000s. And when we won our national championships, Yowzy was playing for him, and he was a tenacious defensive back, and he coaches the same way. And he's just like Coach Sargent.
Well, they say if you gather like people around you, then good things will happen. And obviously Tom Sargent is a very tenacious type of person, and to have a couple of coaches around him the same way, that's got to rub off on the players.
Well, it's hilltop football. It's what they're used to, and rightly so. Ian McLean's doing the same thing with the Huskies. Ian was with us in those same years that he's playing against Yowzy. He knows what it takes, and he's building that in this young coaching staff.
You know, I talked to Rick Walters on Thursday night down at Husky practice, and he was saying that the biggest thing that you have to contend with as far as the Saskatoon Hilltops are concerned is the Saskatoon Hilltops culture. They have a culture of their own that has been the same way for the last 10 or 12 years. They have the same type of football program, the same philosophy, everything that hasn't changed. And when a new coach comes in and he tries to make changes, the rest of the coaching staff just gathers around and says, here's what we've got and here's what we do.
And you can take that even further. 2001, we're playing against them, and they're doing the same things today. When I talked about they get into plus territory, they like to blitz, he's doing that in 2001. So they've been doing it for 17 years. Now, different players, but same philosophy. And if you noticed when Kevin was talking to him about blitzing early, I think we're going to see a little more blitz in this second half.
Well, defensively, obviously, the big thing for the Saskatoon Hilltops is not only their strength and size, but also the speed, particularly on that defensive line, and the aggressiveness of the linebackers and DBs.
Absolutely, and of course, you look, that's what the Huskies are developing. This is what makes this game so great, because these two teams are extremely well matched.
Oh, yeah.
And they're both extremely well coached, both sides of the ball and their special teams. So he said that punt block, it wasn't the Huskies did something really bad. The Hilltops executed that as well as it can be executed. And so this is just football. And I think a lot of fans in the city of Edmonton are missing one heck of a football game tonight.
All right, the Hilltops will be kicking off to the Huskies. And they will be kicking into the wind, which means the Huskies will have the wind in the third quarter and hoping to build on the momentum that they picked up in the second quarter.
It's what you'd like to do, and if you can drive and control the ball in the third quarter, put points on the board, and then hang on, it can make a difference.
All right, good end-over-end kick down to about the 20-yard line. It's taken there by Brzik. He fumbles it, picks it up, and then moves ahead for a gain of about maybe 3 yards, a run back of about 3 yards. And they'll mark the ball down at around the 26-yard line.
Now, this is an interesting thing because they're kicking into the wind, but they end up, because of the fumble, with no run back, basically. You're talking about a 4 or 5 yard run back is it.
And again, that's a case of kicking into the wind, and the ball is actually coming back towards the kicker. And it's hard for the receivers to defend against
They
that.
misjudge it sometimes, and that's what happened there.
All right, Brad Lonhart in at quarterback for the Huskies.
And there's a blitz right away.
And into the middle, the pass is incomplete. And again, Lonhart is thrown to the ground, and it looks like we're going to have another UR.
Roughing the passer. Brad Lonhart's going to be upset with that because he had his receiver wide open and he just missed him. and he read the blitz perfectly. You see it there. But he read the blitz perfectly, let the ball go, just missed his receiver. But because of the roughing, they will get the first down and pretty good field position.
Harrison Cable, the intended receiver on that one. And so that moves the football all the way up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Huskies. Burzik at the setback. Now looking into the middle, the pass is incomplete. And a good job by Lonhart of checking off a couple of receivers before throwing it down to Connor Mickle. But again, he was well covered, and there was no hope of him catching that one.
Exactly right. Coverage is very good on that play. And now we got 2nd and long. Are we going to see blitz, or are we going to see them drop right off? Right now they're showing dropping back for depth.
And
middle linebacker sitting in.
And everybody else sitting back at about the 50-yard line. Back in the pocket now. There's the swing pass to Burzik. Burzik gets away from one tackler and another, and is finally knocked down at about the 47-yard line. He'll be well short of the first down, but a good job of getting that much back for Burzik.
It was, and if you look at this screen pass, the defensive linebacker did a real nice job of sniffing that out and closed on a forced Burzak to get up inside without his blocking. And that made the play for the defense.
All right, so now Cole Sabourin will be punting this one away from about the 38-yard line. He's got the wind behind him. Gets a good one away, all the way down to about the 15-yard line. Is taken there by Iwanchina. That's Adam Iwanchina. And he is stopped after a run back of close to 12 yards in the play. Let's go downstairs once again. Here is Kevin.
Thanks, Dave. Just had a quick chat with Gaetano Minto, number 24 of the Huskies, the emotional leader of that Husky defense, and he said to me, "If it's up to us." And he said, "If we're going to finish this fight, if we're going to finish this thing, we've got to play loose, and we can't play afraid. We've just got to turn it loose in the second half, guys."
And no one can turn it loose better than Gaetano Minto, I can tell you that.
He can do that.
All right, 3 flankers to the far side. Back in the pocket now, looking over, complete to Iwanchina. Iwanchina is stopped after a gain of about 12 yards or so, and it'll be enough for the first down. So we've got Josh Iwanchina is number 18, and Adam Iwanchina is number 81.
Now in this case, you see they run like a deep rub play. Had a little blocker out there, and with 83, and a well-executed play.
So a gain of 12, first down. Ball on the 42-yard line. Saskatoon Hilltops on the move. There's a handoff to Josh Iwanchina, and he is stopped after about a gain of a yard or two.
Very well defended. The linebackers flowed over the top. The defensive end did their job, strung it out, and here it is here. See them get out, they pull the guard, and look at them string it. And Darian Nitty took over as the end on that play, and he just strung it, and Jason Brown filled it on.
So Josh Iwanchina was the running back on that play, and the lone setback now is once again Adam Mackert. And here's the pass. It is going to be complete at the 40-yard line.
Now again, Dave, there's a situation, if you look at it on the replay, he lets the ball go on time. Wandy got turned around a little bit there, and he was a little late coming back to the ball. The receiver made a very good catch on that ball.
Sam Mike, the receiver.
Had to go low for it, did a good job.
Big yards on that one, all the way down into Husky territory at the 40-yard line. Jordan Walls at quarterback. Handoff to Iwanchina. He plows straight ahead for a pickup of about maybe 5 yards. So Iwanchina and Mackert switching off at the running back position. Iwanchina goes off. Mackert comes back in, bringing a play in from the bench, obviously.
Now that ball was fumbled, but they said he was down by contact, and that's why the ball came back.
So the gain is about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Ball on the 37-yard line. Back in the pocket now. Walls complete at the 30-yard line. out there to Adam Iwanchina, and he had just enough for the first down, but he was hammered after making that.
He was hammered. It was good coverage. I believe that was Vince Schiffner in on the hit, but you know, it was a well-placed ball, and if you notice on the side of the line, we just kind of missed it there, but the right side of the offensive line cut blocked the defense of the Huskies, which gave him an open field to throw to.
Hand off to Iwanchina, right side, stopped. Nice job coming up to make the tackle was number 15, Brandon Mellon.
We've talked about this earlier in the season. The halfbacks of the Huskies will hit you. They're like linebackers, and they like to hit. Now, here we are. What have they done previously? They go with a quick pass here. It could be a screen. It could be just a quick slant or a quick rub.
2nd and 7. Ball on the 26-yard line. There's the snap, the handoff, taken by Mackert. Mackert stopped just over the line of scrimmage, but after a gain of about 5 yards or so, I think he's going to be short of the first down. We'll see where they mark the football.
It's 2 yards short, David, by the looks of it.
Wow. And it looks like they're going to go for it. Iwanchina is bringing a play in from the bench.
Tom Sargent's been known to do this. He wants to control this game, and he loves to control field position and clock.
4 receivers over on this side. Nobody in the backfield. There's the sweep to Iwanchina, and Iwanchina is stopped shy of the 10-yard line at about the 12. And that was almost an end around because Iwanchina was so far out.
It's like a fly coming over. Yeah. The Huskies got themselves in trouble. It's going to be 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. They just got a UR.
Unnecessary roughness. Edmonton.
I didn't get the number of what he said, but
they're searching for the number right now, JB.
Ball placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Did you hear the number down there, Kevin?
Did not catch the number,
okay.
no, unfortunately. Right. Just the wind is picking up pretty significantly down, guys.
Ball on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal for the Saskatoon Hilltops. Jordan Walls, the quarterback. Handoff to Mackert, and Mackert crashes in over the goal line for the touchdown.
And that's number 20, Adam Mackert, 1 yard for the touchdown. That's Mackert, 1 yard. Hilltops touchdown.
Now, this was an excellent drive for the Hilltops. They took advantage of things. They got a few yards on first down with the run. Then they passed, and if you notice, they're going back to what they did in the first quarter, quick passes. The only fairly deep one they threw is about a 15-yarder to the wide side of the field over here, and it took an excellent catch by number 4 to complete it, but it was a well-executed drive by the Hilltops. And now the Huskies, they're going to have to come back and get that momentum back.
8:52 to go in the third quarter, 17-14 in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops. And Coach, I'll tell you what, I just get the feeling this one's going to come right down. I talked to Cole Sabrin about it at the beginning of the game. It's going to come down to the kicking teams.
It could very well do it. And then both these teams are well matched. They both execute extremely well. On this drive, the offensive line of the Hilltops outbattled the defensive front of the Huskies. And now it's going to be the Huskies offense against that defensive front of the Hilltops.
Great crowd on hand, by the way, for this football game. And there you see a lot of folks from Saskatoon sitting in Big Blue on the far side, and on this side just below us, almost a packed house here. So it's great to see so many fans coming out and enjoying some great junior football. And a fumble on that kickoff return, and the Hilltops have recovered, and they will start out deep in Huskies territory at about the 27-yard line. We'll take a look at this one once again, John.
If you see the return on this, Berzik seems to hesitate. You see right there? A little bit of hesitation. Now, I don't know, is he down? Well, they're giving it to him, so I guess not.
Ball is on the 27-yard line. TSN turning point time for the Saskatoon Hilltops. As they pitch out to Mackert. Mackert finds a hole and is still going. Finally taken down just shy of the 15-yard line. And we have a late flag.
Shane Samuels brings him down, and we have a flag.
We're going to see this. I suspect this is a UR face mask is what the call is. Now, the last one we looked at, it didn't look like a face mask. Let's see here.
Face mask. Edmonton, number 7.
The face mask was not grabbed at all. He hit him high, but watch the running back. He lowers his head. So, see him get low here? And so he goes up high, but he never touched the face mask. I don't understand these calls.
And that brings the football all the way down to the 2-yard line. And once again, the Hilltops on the doorstep. Over center is Jordan Walls. He has a single setback as Iwanchina. There's the handoff right side. Touchdown. Adam will make that Josh Iwanchina.
2 yards for touchdown.
Now we're in a situation. The Huskies are behind the 8 ball. They're where they were at the early in the first half, and now they've got to come back and start moving the ball. Penalties will kill you, and you can say whether that was a face mask or not. It was the call, and you have to live with it. So the Huskies have got to come back and move the ball, and they've got to do it off the kickoff. These are, now if you think about it, a punt block for a touchdown, right?
Yep.
Now you have a fumble on a kickoff return, and they move in for a touchdown. 14 points off special teams.
And with 8:03 to go in the third quarter, it's a 10-point differential. 24-14 in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops. And, well, you know, we can, I guess, go back to the first quarter. They were down by 10 points then. They came
exactly. And the thing is you want to make sure that you stay level.
Yeah.
And because these things can happen in a game.
Yeah.
And you can't control certain aspects, but you can control how you play the game individually. So each player just has to do his job to the very best of his ability. It's exactly what the Hilltops did at the start of the second half.
Good end-over-end kick coming down to about the 20-yard line. It'll be taken there by Keaton Zachikowski, and Zachikowski spins away from one tackle and is taken down just over the 30-yard line. And let's go downstairs again. Here is Kevin.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. And it is a carbon copy of the first quarter when head coach Ian McLean was going up and down the bench telling everyone, hey, stay calm, do your job, and we're going to get through this. And that's exactly what he's been doing after the Huskies giving up these 2 quick touchdowns. But the entire bench, you wouldn't know that they've given up 14 points so quickly, guys.
1st and 10, ball on the 32-yard line. Lonhart at quarterback. There's the pass. It is incomplete. Intended on the far side for number 6, Tanner Buchanan. And that's the first time we've seen Lonhart go to Buchanan in this football game.
Exactly right. And again, he missed on that slant route. And part of the problem was the Hilltops were playing a zone, and the halves was sitting right in where the slant was coming to.
2nd and 10 on the 36-yard line. Into the middle, incomplete. And actually, I think slipping on the play, trying to stop, was, again, number 6, Tanner Buchanan.
I'm not sure that he slipped on that. I think he saw that safety coming over the top. You watch this. If they show it. See the safety there? Mm-hmm. I think he went down as that. If he'd have stayed on the ball, he might have drawn an interference call. But you'll see it right there. But I think he felt pressure coming, and that might have caused the slip.
All right, here comes more pressure, too, from that special teams. They get the kick away, but just barely. It'll bounce out of bounds at around the 35-yard line or so. And the Hilltops will take the football over in their own zone.
And the Huskies have an injured player down here, and it's their defensive end, number 53.
Chase Elwood.
And he was hurt after the first game in Windsor this year. And they started the first game, got injured down there, I think it was in the third quarter, and didn't play till a couple of weeks ago. And now he's hurt again.
Well, you know, we talked at the beginning of the of the second half about the Wildcats, or the Huskies rather, going against or taking the win in the third quarter and hoping to get as many points as they could in the third quarter to build sort of a cushion. It's kind of worked against them.
Well, again, I'm not sure that they did that. I don't know what the call was at the start of the game. And if you remember, they had the wind right in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So they might have taken the decision in the first half, and the Hilltops made the choice. They wanted the win in the fourth quarter. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but I suspect that might have happened.
Well, there's no question they're going to have to get the points here with the wind. First down for the Saskatoon Hilltops, ball on the 34-yard line. There's that swing pass to the outside to Adam Iwanchina, and Iwanchina is taken down after a gain of close to about 6 yards or so.
First man missed a tackle, and then on these types of plays, it's like a little bubble screen. And you watch this out there. Now he hits the bubble, and now there's the block. But you notice how he missed the tackle? He hits him there. It's a 1-yard gain. And instead, he gets a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Jason Brown leans on the tackle. Ball on the 39-yard line. Handoff once again is Iwanchina. Gets around one tackler on a nice little sidestep and is finally taken down at the center field stripe after a gain of close to about 15 yards.
Right now, the Hilltops momentum is all the momentum's in their hand. Watch this move that he puts on. Nice little, what we call a jump step to the outside. Got a straight arm down on his opponent and got up the field. Well executed play.
They mark it down at the 54-yard line, still in Saskatoon territory. There's the pass. It is incomplete. And a great job of going up on the, over the receiver on that one. But we'll see exactly who it is. It looks like we have an injured number 26.
That's Wande.
Yeah.
And he does a nice job on this. He gets up over the top, and he's the one who made that incomplete because the receiver, if you look at him, he almost had position. Just an excellent job by Wande.
Looked like he came down rather heavily on his shoulder, but he's going to stay out there.
I think he's all right.
2nd and 10. Iwanchina, the single setback now. Back in the pocket. Walls looking downfield to the far side. It is out of bounds. Intended for Sam Mike. And
now this is twice that the Hilltop quarterback is throwing the wide out of bounds.
On that side.
That's a long throw.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm wondering if he's forcing the ball because of the wind. And he might be. But twice he's put it out of bounds now.
All right, John Brown back to kick this one away. Brown out of Bedford Road High School in Saskatoon. And we want to say hi to everyone watching this game in and around Saskatoon. Hope you're enjoying Edmonton football weather here. Just a beautiful night for football. There's the punt taken there by number 2, Connor Mickle, and Mickle is stopped after a run back of about a yard or so. Let's go downstairs. Once again, here is Kevin.
Thanks, Dave. Lots of concern here on the Husky sideline with number 53, Chase Elwood. He's trying to walk off a knee injury to his right knee. Medical staff are taking a long look, and of course, he's a big part of that Husky defense. So a lot of concern down here on the Husky sideline about the condition of Elwood, number 53 for the Huskies, guys, and we'll keep you updated on that as the third quarter continues. Guys?
All right. Before they even get the snap away, there is a flag.
I suspect too many men in the huddle.
13 men in the huddle. Edmonton, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's discipline, and the coaches know about it, the players know about it. They've got to do a better job on this.
That'll move the football back an additional 10 yards or so. First down, ball on the 20.
Hilltops in blitz position. Now they're backing out of it.
There's a handoff to Burzik. He had a hole, but it closed very quickly. And Burzik is stopped after a run back of a couple.
The Hilltop linebackers, Dave, historically have been downhill run attackers. And this is what they do here. If you look at them, they're coming downhill hard. Number 50 exploding through there. And it's good defensive football. And you might have a seam, or it looks like a seam, and it closes awfully fast.
Back in the pocket now. Lonhart looking downfield now, finally has to dish it off. The ball is fumbled, and Lonhart wisely covers up. Boy, that was a quick move by, or make that, I thought it was Longhart, but it was actually number 69 out there for the Huskies, and that was Brendan Cowett.
The right tackle,
yeah.
and it's a
close.
situation, yes. And again, you look at it, it just dumps it off, and it got stripped. And the Huskies just are not playing confident football right now. The Hilltops are playing totally confident, and you can see it in their movement.
All right, Sabarin gets a spiraling kick down to about the 48-yard line, taken by Iwanchina over the center field stripe and into Huskies territory at about the 48 there. So for a run back of close to 10 yards or so.
It is, again, this is with the wind at your back, that's when you want to hang the ball up. Cole hit that one fairly low, a good return. And again, your blocking can form up easier than your coverage can get down. So he got about a 12-yard return on it.
So they mark it at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Saskatoon Hilltops in Huskies territory. There's the handoff to Mackert. Mackert somehow manages to squirm through a hole that was almost non-existent. And he gets a gain of about 12 yards on the play.
And an absolutely excellent tackle by number 10, the safety, Justin Hodinsky. But look at how quick he pops. He's very similar to Burzek in that. But Hodinsky, when he tackles you, he wraps those legs up, and you're not moving anywhere. Very good tackle.
The original hole closed very quickly for Mackert, but he was able to move to the side and find another seam and picked up the 12 yards.
He pops back, and we talked about this previous, how he keeps his feet moving no matter what. And the way you stop a fellow from moving his feet like that, you tackle him below the knees. You wrap. And that's exactly what Hodinsky did. And that's the only way you stop these fellows. A runner like that will carry defenders, 3 or 4 defenders. He'll just keep driving.
And he's done that a number of times.
He's done it tonight, and I'm sure he's done it all season. And this is the type of running back you love to have on a team because of that.
First down for the Hilltops. They continue to march into Edmonton territory. Iwanchina, the setback, 4 flankers to the far side. There's the handoff to Iwanchina, finds some room on the outside, and then is chased down and tackled by number 41, Jason Brown, the leading tackler on this Huskies defense.
Jason's middle linebacker did an excellent job there. The defensive end did a good job on stringing, and then Jason got outside and was able to make the play.
And we have an injured Husky down there. And the wind is starting to pick up quite a bit here. I just lost half my notes.
Dave, I'll tell you, down here at field level, the wind is absolutely fierce now. As you mentioned earlier, the ribbons at the top of the goalposts now are pretty much at a horizontal level now, and the wind becoming an even bigger we head towards the fourth quarter, guys. And we talked about Gaetano Minto earlier being one of the real leaders of the Husky defense, and Gaetano, number 24, we've had the chance to interview him, and he's a fantastic young man and a lot of fun to watch and to watch play and to interview. But Gaetano's basically playing with one arm due to that left arm injury. So Huskies banged up right now, but certainly wanting to finish the fight here as we head to the fourth quarter, guys.
And may I extend my thanks to the guys from the Bull in Saskatoon. They picked up my papers.
Teamwork. Teamwork.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They know you can't remember anything, so you need those notes. This is Brandon Bellin, I think, Dave, is the injured ball player down there. And then I don't know if they'll show it on the replay, but he came in low and he had helmet to helmet with the ball carrier. And he got the worst of the wear for that one.
They can't afford to lose him. He is, again, one of their top tacklers. And to be without him.
It's a situation you don't ever want to lose your halfbacks, because you really get yourself into a difficult position. And you know, I don't know how they'll do that. They do have number 17 is a backup, but I'm not sure that he's at the level that Brandon Mellon was. If he was, he'd probably be playing. But
this was actually Wesley Bookland is the backup, but he got into the team just last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, against the Wildcats, and didn't see any action. I'm not sure if he got into any action last week on the road, but certainly tonight he's been in from time to time, but not very often, and you'd hate to have to put him in a situation like that.
And guys, Kevin, sorry JB, but Kevin down here on the sideline, and Matt's getting a shot of Brandon Mellon as he makes his way to the sideline, but that was an incredible collision, and right now he's walking very, very slowly with not exactly the clearest eyes in the world, guys. Sorry about that, JB, take it away.
Oh, that's fine. We'll see who does replace him. They might replace him with Quade Smith. I'm not sure, because he has played the halfback.
Jordan Wall still at quarterback, 4 flankers to this side. There's the sweep once again to Iwanchina, and Iwanchina cuts up the middle and is ahead for about maybe 12 yards on the play, and another first down. They're having a tough time containing that run. All of a sudden, Adam or Josh Iwanchina has really come to the fore.
Well, yeah, and if they sealed that well, but you look who makes the tackle again. It's number 10, Justin Odinsky. The only way you tackle these fellas is go low on them, and that's what he does. If your safety is making the tackles, you're in trouble.
Okay, Mackert is now the halfback, and there's a handoff. Big hole left side. He's at the 10, 5, and is taken down at the 4-yard line. He had all kinds of room on that left side.
I don't know if that was a stretch play or just a search wide, but the Huskies blitzed everybody inside, and so they had no flow from backside. It had to be the defensive backs make the play. The man who came over to make the tackle was a Sam linebacker. He's the only one that didn't blitz, and he came over and made it at the 4-yard line.
All right, ball is on the 4, 1st and goal. Over center, Jordan Walls. Walls hands off to Iwanchina. Iwanchina is stopped. No, they say he crossed the goal line. It is a touchdown. Josh Iwanchina for the Saskatoon Hilltops.
And this game has totally changed now, Dave. All the momentum is in the Hilltops realm. They're attacking. They're getting off the ball, both sides of the line of scrimmage, and it looks like the Huskies are catching. So, can you do it with 16 minutes to go? You can. It can be done, but they've got to get something big happen quite quickly.
There's the point after. There are a couple of flags on the play. It'll likely be offside.
Well, it could be where throwing. The Huskies might have too many men out there, because you saw the back judge.
Edmonton, that 10-yard penalty is applied on the kickoff. Convert is good.
Penalty goes against the Huskies. Convert is good. And with 1:10 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's a 31-14 football game in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops.
And with that, what you're starting to see happen with the Huskies, and Coach Reed Knox, special teams coordinator's got to settle these guys down. There's a situation, they've had some injuries. So you might have had a backup come in, maybe 2 backups come in, and one of the starters came back in. So you end up with 13 people on the field.
Let's go back downstairs again. Here's Kevin.
Thanks again, Dave. Quick update from the Husky sideline and the medical staff. And as we always mention, these young men are always in great hands with these medical staffs of the Huskies and the Wildcats. But a lot of concern about Brandon Mellon, number 15, and that is what appears to be the 2nd concussion for the Huskies today, or tonight, actually, guys.
On the kickoff, taken on the far side by Burzik. Burzik dances around and is finally stopped just shy of the 20-yard line. And the Saskatoon Hilltops, sensing or smelling blood, down there just jumping around, celebrating. And they will...
Well, they are. And if you look at the Huskies most of this year, they've been getting up 30-plus yards, many times over the 35 on their returns. They're nowhere near in this game. And the Hilltops, yes, because of the penalty, 10 yards shorter, so that would still only be to the 29-yard line. It's not good enough.
On the 19, 1st and 10 for the Huskies. Brad Lonhart still in the quarterback and now is forced to call a timeout. Didn't like what was going on in front of him.
Edmonton. There's no infraction for time count violation. Timeout was called first.
Now, Lonhart didn't have an opportunity to do anything but that. The back judge was ready to throw well, he did throw the flag, but the timeout was called earlier. Well, one of the biggest things here, when things start going bad like this, you start getting frustrated. All the little things that normally don't happen start happening. And plays take a little longer to get in. You try to make the perfect play instead of just getting out and playing. And that's what's occurring with the Huskies right now. This is the first time this has happened this year to them. And again, they got 15 minutes now. Can they come back and do it? And even get a touchdown? Because they're still in this ball game, believe it or not. It's 3 scores.
It is. 16 points. 31-14 is the score.
And if you remember, they put that on the board in the second quarter.
They did, too.
They did. So, exactly. I mean, the potential is there. The question is, will they do it? That's why we play the game.
Make that 17. I flunked kindergarten math. Handoff, Berzik. Berzik tries the left side. He's got some room. He's up to the 30 and is taken down at the 32-yard line. Brant Berzik with the big gain.
Little counter action on this to Brant, and it's very well executed. He gets a nice seam.
14-yard gain, first down, ball on the 32. Once again, Berzik has some room up the middle and is taken down quickly after a gain of about maybe 7 or 8 yards on the play. And so they go back to that run game, and you know, you go to the dance with the lady that rung you.
Well, you have to, and what they want to do is you got to start doing some things with these linebackers now. And if you keep running the ball like this and getting first downs, there's the shovel.
There's that little shovel pass to Berzik. Berzik is hammered just over the 45-yard line, and he is slow to get up, but you could hear that all the way up here in the press box.
Well, again, and this is a situation, the Hilltops do this. You watch this. He's leading with a helmet. He comes right through Berzik, right there. Oh. And there's no question. He's right in the back of the neck of him, and they're coming at you. And
he's going to be called on it, too.
Has the flag been thrown? I haven't seen a flag.
I'm sorry. No. Change of the end.
No, they're
just changing ends at the end of the third quarter. So
remember what I said earlier about what had happened to Jimmy Airy. And those things happen, but they come in, they're coming low, and they do. The Hilltops drive where they head.
Let's go downstairs here. Once again, here's Kevin.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. And, of course, ICU Video, on behalf of ICU Video, we want to wish our viewers a very happy Thanksgiving. And two things that go perfectly together are Thanksgiving and football. And tomorrow afternoon, ICU Video will continue our Thanksgiving weekend coverage of this regular season finale, with the Edmonton Wildcats hosting the Calgary Colts at 1 p.m. right here at Clarke Park. So tomorrow afternoon, make your appetizer football here with ICU Video, and the final weekend of the regular season in the Prairie Football Conference. So join us for some turkey and football here with ICU Video, guys.
As long as it's not football turkey.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? If the relatives are driving you crazy, sneak away with the laptop and join us on ICU Video.
All right. Thanks very much, Kevin. Appreciate that. And, of course, as always, the Huskies very proud to have a number of great sponsors helping them out throughout the season. Hertz Equipment Rental, the Edmonton Eskimos, Glenn Sather's Sports Medicine Clinic, Eskimo Excavators Limited, and, of course, FC Edmonton as well. And FC in here last night, losing a close one in the NASL.
Winnipeg Rifles 28, Regina 8.
What an upset. We're just getting a score in from Regina. The Winnipeg Rifles beating Regina by a score of 28-8. Wow.
That's the thing in this conference. You don't know. You better be on top of your game every game because teams are capable of beating you.
Of course, Regina will be in town next weekend in the semifinal against these Huskies. All kinds of movement along the line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3, 4 flags.
Now it's interesting. I don't know if there's going to be procedure or offside on the defense.
Well, as soon as those flags flew, Brad Lonhart threw up his hands.
56 and 68. 5-yard penalty.
It is going to be against the Huskies.
And it goes against their left guard, Jack Hanna, and going to be upset with this. This is the thing they cannot afford.
Well, this is one of the little things that you talked about just like a couple minutes ago. One of the little things that happens. All right, so now we come out of the huddle with 1, 2, 3, 4 flankers to this side, 1 to the far side. Everybody heading downfield, pass into the middle. It is incomplete and just beyond the reach of Connor Mickle.
I don't know what's happening on these. It looked to me like Connor Mickle sat down in the zone, and Lonhart thought he was going to come through the zone. And this is a miscommunication by the receiver and the quarterback. And these are the little things, again, we talk about. It gets you in trouble.
All right, play in from the bench. There's the handoff to Burzik. Burzik up to the 45-yard line. He needed to get a whole bunch more than that. And they will be well short of the first down. They didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Huskies will be forced to kick this one away and into an ever-increasing wind. It looks like it's coming straight out of the north now, JB.
Could very well be. And it's been brisk during the day. I know out at our home, we're right on the lake. And, boy, it was whistling down the lake today. And when it gusts, it can get pretty fast.
They've got a couple of players on side for the Huskies. Chavez Campbell, one of them. Here's a short kick, and it's a knuckleballer that will bounce back towards the Huskies and go out of bounds at about the midfield stripe. And so once again, the Hilltops in great field position with 13:50 to go in the football game.
They are, and the big thing here now is, can the Husky defense stop them? They have not done a good job in the third quarter. So the fourth quarter now, they've got to settle down and take the ball away from them. I would suspect the Huskies might start doing a little more blitzing, play a little more man coverage.
So 5 yards on the no yards, and its ball is on the 50-yard line in Saskatoon territory. There's Mackert with it. Mackert is stopped after a gain of about 4 yards. In there to make the tackle, number 42, Zach White.
Number 36 with the stop for Edmonton.
The young man from Whitecourt has had himself a pretty good football game.
He has. Now you take a look at it, and you look how fast the Hilltop offensive line is getting into the Husky defensive front, and it's the same with the backs. It's that little difference in quickness that is making the difference here. Now here comes a full blitz.
And there's the pitch out to Iwanchina, and Iwanchina plows ahead up to about the 45-yard line. Another gain of 10 yards, another first down.
And the perfect call for a blitz is coming inside. So right now, the coaching staff of the Hilltops are making the right calls, and they're executing well. They're executing very well.
Ball on the 45-yard line. 12:37 to go in the football game. Huskies down 31-14 to the Saskatoon Hilltops. There's a handoff to Mackert. Mackert finds the left side, but is stopped after a gain of about maybe 3 or 4. We'll call it 3.
An excellent tackle by Jason Brown on that play.
All right, again, let's go down, and here's Kevin Donnan.
Thanks a lot, Dave. It would appear that Brandon Mellon's night is over, number 15 for the Huskies. He's sitting very still, very quiet on the Husky bench, so it would appear that the halfback for the Huskies, his night is over, guys.
It's been a tough night of injuries for the Huskies, no question about that. Swing pass to Iwanchina. That's Adam Iwanchina, and he is taken down. And again, one of those leg tackles by Hodinsky.
He's pretty good at it, isn't he? He hits you good and low. You'll see it right here. Here's this bubble screen. Hodinsky fires in, wraps him good and low.
Right on the knees.
Yeah, now when they talk about Mellon sitting there and being very quiet, you know he's injured. If he's quiet, he's injured because he's always talking. And he's one of those most effusive types of individuals you'll ever see on a football team. And that hit, like we talked about, those helmet-to-helmet hits hurt.
Keaton Zachikowski is asking for trouble. He's only standing on the 5-yard line with a very brisk north wind behind the Saskatoon Hilltops kicker. Gets a wobbly one into the end zone, as I suspected, and it goes over his head down to the touchline, and it'll be a single point, 32-14 with 11:20 to go for the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Now, one of the biggest things for the Huskies there is giving up the point. I think is what they would have had to do anyway. So you hope the ball goes into the end zone. That being said, Zachikowski should have been deeper.
All right, and they will mark the football down at the 35-yard line. The Huskies will take it over at that point. Brad Lonhart still in at quarterback. Tommy Yanchuk warming up in the bench, though. And four flankers to this side. Here's the handoff to we'll make that a play action pass, incomplete. And it was thrown a little low, and Tanner Buchanan just couldn't get down to it in time.
This is a bad pass by Brad. He definitely wanted it back. You look at it, he did a very good play action, nice bootleg action, little whip by the receiver. Just turned around and then came back to the outside, and he threw it at his feet. This is what things have been like in this second half for the Huskies.
Motion goes to this side. Looking over here along the sidelines, and it is in behind Tanner Buchanan. And it will be a 2 and out for the Huskies. It just seems like Lonhart and Buchanan are not on the same page whatsoever.
This has happened again and again in this game with different receivers. But it looked to me like Lonhart wanted him sitting down in the zone. And he went deeper on it. And in zone defenses, you do a lot more sitting down in the zone. And you get into the middle of the zone and they get the ball to you. But in this case, if you notice, we talked about it earlier, where we were not doing that as far as the receiver will sit down in the zone, and then Brad was ending up throwing like he was coming through the zone. So there's a miscommunication there. It has to be dealt with.
Ewan Chena takes the punt at about the 50 and runs it back around 8 yards or so. So it's back into Huskies territory at about the 52-yard line. Time is of the essence now for the Huskies. Down 32-14 with 15 to go in the fourth quarter.
That punt, that wasn't a bad punt. And, because of the wind and that, they're going to be in plus territory. See what the defense does.
Handoff, left side, Ewan Chena. Then he cuts up the middle and plows ahead for a gain of about 12 yards and the first down.
And if you notice, the Hilltops have a new quarterback in the game.
Yep.
And I suspect the Huskies will start doing the same and start mentally, get through this game and mentally prepare for the playoffs. Because right now, the Huskies just are not playing good football offensively or defensively.
Jordan Walls back in at quarterback. Handoff to Ewan Chena, right side. Ewan Chena just knifes his way through that defensive line and picks up another gain of close to 8-9 yards on the play. We'll see where they mark it. And they say he picked up a 10 and a little bit. So down to the 29, and it's a first down. Hilltops offense on the move. Ewan Chena, the lone setback. There's the handoff left side once again. And this time Ewan Chena is stopped after a short gain of perhaps 3 or 4 yards on the play.
That was filled pretty quickly by the defensive end, the nose, and the linebacker. But again, they're just zone blocking these and just attacking. And that's the first time that they've really shut it down.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 on the 26-yard line.
Now it's will they go play action pass with this or straight pass? I suspect they will. You've got quads to the wide side of the field and an isolate on the backside.
Jordan Walls at quarterback. Ewan Chena, pitch out, right side. Tries to get to the outside, and a nice job coming up from his defensive halfback position. Gaetan Minto, the one-armed Gaetan Minto.
Yeah, well, he hit him with the right arm, so that was a good thing. No, that was very, very well played by Minto, and the defensive end did a good job on this too. Fights outside, and there goes Jason Brown hammering at it, so they had good defensive coverage on that. Again, now forcing the field goal.
Don't tell Gaetano he's down by 18, because he doesn't know. the way he's flying around with one arm, guys. Don't tell him he's down by 18.
32-14 is the score. 7:50 to go. Here's the the field goal rather, right through the uprights, all the way through the end zone. And with 7:47 left, it's 35-14. And that's a whole bunch of scores for the Huskies to come back on.
It sure is, and Kevin was mentioned about Gaetano Minto not being concerned with what the score is. That's the way he's played from the time he's came with the Huskies. I mean, he's a 100% player. Sometimes he's not the most disciplined young man in the world, but he's given you everything he's got, whether you're up by 50, down by 50, the game's close, doesn't matter. You're getting 100% from him.
Of course, he's from Athabasca, and his parents and brother and I believe his sister all here from Athabasca. They made the drive down to watch this football game, and in fact they're just below us here to the right, and he certainly put on a show for the family.
He's played well, and you know he's a fun young man to be around. He's
a likable kid. He's a really likable kid, JB.
He
can't help it. He's infectious. He makes the game fun to watch.
All right.
He sure does.
This is Lonhart back in the pocket, pass into the middle, complete to Harrison Cable. And Cable taken down at the midfield stripe, picks up a gain of close to 20, and it'll be first down for the for the Huskies rather. And I got to think that's the first down of this quarter.
I also think might be the first pass that Cable's caught this game.
You're exactly right.
And you know that's when Cable's not catching the ball, it's not normal in this offense.
Burzik takes it up the middle for a gain of close to 7, perhaps 8 yards. They'll mark it at about the 49-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 4. Handoff once again. Burzik, this time he crosses the 45-yard line, and he should have enough for the first down.
Where they're putting it, I do not think he has the first down.
No.
They're putting it with a tip on the line, and he seems to be about a half-yard short.
Oh, I was looking at the marker on this side of the field, but yeah, you're right, on the far side. They mark it at the 45 exactly, so he's going to be maybe a yard short of the first down, and they're going to go for it. Play coming in from the bench. Ben Wilton sends the signals in to the offense from the bench. He's the one down there in the yellow sweater. And here is Lonhart. Lonhart finds some room and then goes for a slide just over the 40-yard line at about the 39, and a gain of close to 6 yards and a first down. And that was a little scary.
Well, and he's done this before, go around the end. They sealed it pretty good. Burzak gets out there with a good block and enough to get him up the field.
One of those linebackers came awfully close to him, but he was able to get around just in time. Pick up that gain of 6. First down. There's the play action and the fake to, and Lonhart takes it himself.
It's that zone read again. They faked the fly, and then he just took it up the middle. Well executed play.
Gain of 15 yards on the play. Brings the football all the way down to about the 25-yard line. Huskies on the move offensively. There's a pass. It is complete. Touchdown! Zach Desayatnik with his second touchdown of the game.
Now, I don't know, you're going to see this here. Lonhart gets leveled at the end of this play. And again, it's not roughing. He was right there. The irony of it is I've seen these officials call that roughing. You don't know what they're going to call. That's a frustrating thing. But I don't think that should ever be called roughing. It was a very, very good hit and perfect ball by Lonhart. Good route by the receiver.
I felt like he, the defender who tackled him, kind of let him down a little bit. He
could
hit him
have.
and then
There was
held
no,
him up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, and then you watch it here. Brad actually threw off the back foot a little bit. He still put the ball on the money. It was a good ball.
And a great catch by Zach Desayatnik. Second touchdown of the football game for Zach. And that gives him 4 on the season. Not bad for a young rookie. He's had a good year.
Yeah, you know the interesting thing here?
What's that?
There's only 2 scores. And
exactly.
It sounds funny, but in this league with 4.5 minutes to go, anything can happen.
And there's a glimmer of hope down here on the Husky sideline, JB. No doubt about it. This team knows they're still in this thing.
You better believe they are. And you know, this is a type of team that can come back. They've done it before. The thing is now it's up to the defense, and we'll see what happens in this next series.
Let's hope the Red Sox are watching this, JB.
My Red Sox have not been doing well against Houston.
Our Red Sox. They're handing out participant ribbons in the clubhouse tonight.
I can give you a blue cap with LA on the front of it.
You really want to get hit, don't you?
There's all kinds of commotion down here on the field. We're going to wait for this call, but JB, what did it look like to you? It went through the hands of the receiver.
Looked to me like the Hilltop man touched it.
Yeah.
Then the Husky man touched it, but I think it was over the line when the Husky touched it. Let's have a look at it on the kick here.
Husky football, guys. Husky football.
You're right. That was awfully close, though.
Huskies got a break on this one, I think. You look at it. There's the Hilltop touches it. I think that ball was out of, but that's okay.
But it was in the air. He knocked it out of the air. Now, whether it was actually in the white when he did it, hard to say.
Unless you were standing right down the sideline, there was no real way to tell. But it was a very, very close call, guys.
I can tell you this, that the Hilltops will be livid.
The Huskies on the comeback trail. Pass complete at the 28-yard line on the far side to Desayatnik again.
Now, you remember, Kevin, when I talked about earlier about the 2 penalties that the Huskies got where they called them for face masking. You look at it in the film and there was no face masking. This is the type of thing that happens in the game.
Brant
see what's happening
at the 10. Taken down just shy of the 10-yard line at around the 11, and another first down. 3:51 to go in this football game. The Huskies down by 2 scores, 14 points, and they're knocking on the doorstep. They mark it at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10. There's the snap. Rolling to the right side. The pass out there to Connor Mickle. Mickle cuts to the inside and is stopped just over the 10-yard line.
And this is the type of thing that's interesting. You look at that call, and it could have gone either way, right?
Yep.
The Huskies' momentum is totally going now, and they're driving. They get this ball in the end zone, and we got a whole new ball game.
2nd and 8. Ball on the 10. Brant Berzik with it. Berzik at the 5. At the 1. Wait a minute. We haven't got a signal yet from the officials. They're saying at the 1-yard line. But here's the good news. It's a first down.
It's a first down. The 2 tight ends come in now, Battenfelder and Runge. And we'll see what the call will be. But this is an excellent run by Berzik. He just keeps those legs driving. He's not a big man. He got ripped up pretty good in there, and he just kept going.
5'6", 170 pounds. But it's his quickness. He's back in there, the single setback. Lonhart, straight over the top. Still going. Still keeps his feet moving, and finally the signal goes up, and it is a touchdown for the Huskies. Wow.
With 2:51 to go.
Oops, forgot about that part.
And now this convert becomes very important.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we've talked about this how many times in Prairie Junior Football Conference. You never know what can happen. The momentum changes can happen very quickly. And by the Huskies getting that call on that short kick, all of a sudden it's totally turned around.
The point after is good. And with 2:51 to go, as John Belmont mentioned, it's a 35-28 football game in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops, with the Huskies on the move now. What are we going to get, a pooch kick?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they kick it fairly deep and try to put it in a hole, allow guys to get down and pin them. They've got lots of time if they believe in their defense, that they can get it back for them. Because if you try a short kick and you miss it, the ball will be about the 55-yard line, and the Hilltops have great field position. So, you know, that's a decision that Coach McLean and his coaching staff will make. I would not be a bit surprised if they kick it fairly deep. Try to put it in one of these holes and get people down and get no return.
They're lined up for a deep kick. I'll tell you what, this crowd here is really enjoying this football game. Gets a high one. The ball is loose, and it's going to go to the Wildcats.
The Hilltops have it.
And, or the Huskies, rather, the Hilltops. And I'll tell you what, the man who feels worst about it down there is number 7, O'Shane Samuels.
He had
was
the ball.
onside. He had the ball. It went right through his hands, and it was recovered by the Hilltops.
And that was an absolutely excellent short kick. He puts it up at tremendous height and drops in. The receiver was right there, and he just didn't get it done.
So they mark it at the 49-yard line in Saskatoon territory. 2:48 to go. Jordan Walls at quarterback. Looking downfield. He has a man open, and it is complete.
They say incomplete.
No, they're saying complete.
This is something that is real good officiating, and I'll explain why. The side judge couldn't see it. The back judge was in position to see when he caught the ball, did it touch the ground. And he saw it, so he made the call. And that's good officiating. It's good teamwork by the officials.
And there you saw it right on the replay.
But they're giving it to him.
Handoff, Iwanchina left side. It was actually the side judge that made the call, and he was right there, but the receiver had his back to him.
It looked like did not the back judge show incomplete? That's what it looked like to me.
Maybe we can if we can get another replay of that. Let's just take a look at this and see exactly. No,
this is the running play.
Yeah, but it
pretty
looked
well
to me
defended.
It looked to me on the replay that it was complete. But at any rate, the ball is on the 21-yard line.
Yeah, the Huskies have to stop them here. And there's that toss.
Iwanchina just knifes through that defensive line once again.
He's got the first down, and the initial tackle was there but did not wrap up. And this is the importance of wrapping up on a tackle. He just ran right by the defender. It's good hard running. Good hard running, and if you notice with the Hilltop running backs, they're like Burzek, and Aries the same. They get vertical. They get up the field. They don't try to go to the sideline and outrun people.
Ball on the 13-yard line. Handoff left side to Iwanchina, and he is going to lose a yard or two on the play. In there to make the tackle was number 33, Vince Schiffner, out of Mill Woods Christian.
Now, Schiffner and Brown both played that extremely well. Now, here's the interesting thing. The Hilltops are in a position, they want to score a touchdown here. But if they don't, they've got the field goal that would put it 10 points with a minute 30 to go. The Huskies would then have to come with a field goal block. And whatever one they think they can get them on, that's what they'll do. But they have to come with that. So this is the play that's going to be the most important play in the game right here.
1:37 to go. Ball on the 14-yard line. 2nd and 11.
This is why Coach Sargent called the timeout. They wanted to get a specific play in here that they believe can take advantage of the Husky defense. And I suspect the Huskies will be in straight man coverage here and covering people tight.
Quads on this side of the football field. Sam Mike on the far side by himself. There's the handoff to Iwanchina. He plows ahead for a gain of a couple. I think they'll mark it just across the 10-yard line, but I believe he's going to be short by a yard or two.
Oh, he's a long way from a yard. He's short about 8 yards.
I keep looking down at that other marker on this side of the field. In the second half, they moved the markers over to the far side.
There he goes.
And so he'll be 2nd and 8, or 3rd and 8, and it looks like
I'm surprised that they're going to try to draw him offside. I think is what they're going to try to do. I don't understand it. They call timeout.
Oh, now Walls is going off now, and here comes
timeout. Here comes the placement team.
Yeah.
Now what the Huskies have to do is get a block. They have to, and even a point here makes it difficult because now you have to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. So it's very important that they block this.
All right, the field goal attempt will come from about the 12, make that the 16-yard line. Right in the middle of the football field. Everybody up on the line of scrimmage for the Huskies. Running the clock down as much as they can. The kick is through the uprights and over our cameraman's head and out of the football stadium. 38-28, and that
it makes it tough now because
you never want to say die, but
you have to come down and score a touchdown and then short kick and get a field goal to tie.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult with 1:11 left in the game. This has been, Dave, one of those unbelievable games again. It's the first quarter and the third quarter, all Hilltops. Second quarter, fourth quarter, basically Huskies.
Regardless, folks, next Sunday afternoon, it'll be the Regina Thunder in town in the PFC semifinal against the Edmonton Huskies, while the Saskatoon Hilltops will be taking on a resurgent Winnipeg Rifles team, and they are a team not to be taken lightly. They actually beat Regina earlier this evening. Back in the pocket, there's the pass. It is complete to Bergensen, and he is taken down just shy of the 50-yard line. They'll mark it at the 48.
Cameron Schnitzler with the tackle.
That's enough for the first down.
7 yards and a first down for Bergensen at the 48.
Lonhart shovels it ahead to Berzik. He couldn't get it. And we're down to 51 seconds. I just get the feeling that the Huskies are just playing this one out.
Well, right now you'd think so, but I think Brad would like to end this with an attack because there's a good possibility they're playing them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now it'll be in Saskatoon. You want to send a message. And to do that, you have to execute.
Pass into the middle. It is complete to Connor Mickle. And Mickle is sandwiched. He's slow to get up.
He got sandwiched pretty good. Good hit in there. And again, if you look at it, Lonhart puts the ball in between 3 guys. And he just got sandwiched by 2 of them. And just good football, defensive football, but a very well thrown ball, an excellent catch by Connor Mickle.
Tried to get up, but couldn't.
Taking a long look at that left ankle there of Connor Mickle, the McNally grad, but yeah, he took a whale of a shot in great concentration. That was about 20 yards in front of me, guys, and just outstanding concentration by Mickle to hang on to that football.
It was, and I would not be a bit surprised, Kevin, if he got his foot caught in the turf. If they show it on the replay, when he got hit from behind and from the side a little bit, could very easily have twisted a little on him.
And we saw a horrific injury in high school just a few weeks ago. Same sort of scenario, too.
Yeah, these things happen on this turf, there's no question.
This is Lonhart. Lonhart finds some room up the middle and is stopped at about the 35-yard line, but there is a flag on the play, and it'll likely be a holding call.
It's coming back. It's offside on, I believe it's number 5, Harrison Cable. you know, it's one of those things that messed up on the count, but it is definitely an offside on the Huskies.
I don't know if it's a good omen or not, but Eddie the Rabbit just scored a touchdown. But I guess it doesn't count, huh?
I guess not. No, no, not unless he's carrying the football.
Football's bigger than he is.
Offside. Edmonton, number 5. 5-yard penalty.
And that's what it was. And then, you know, these slots, they've got to understand the count. They have to know and make sure they're hitting that line of scrimmage at the right time.
So it'll be 1st and 15, ball on the 49-yard line. Lonhart. There's the screen pass over the head of Brant Berzik, and it will go for naught. I'm trying to look for a word. The symmetry isn't there between Lonhart and his receivers.
I don't know if it's symmetry or chemistry, but whatever it is, it's not
biology?
There. It is not there. It's
one of those GY things.
That's right. And is it the pressure? Who knows?
There it is again. It's
one of these things, and again, Brad is not having a good game, and he'd be the first to admit it. And whatever it is with the receivers, if they're not reading the zones right, or they've changed how they're running their routes, whatever it is, they've got to get it straightened out for next week. And then if they win that one, they'd better get it straightened out when they play the Hilltops again.
Lonhart once again into the middle, and again incomplete, intended for Desayatnik. Took his eye off the ball just as it got to him.
That's exactly right. He wanted to get upfield for the first down, and he was about a yard short, but he's looking for the first down marker before he tucked the ball away. Young receivers do this a lot, and that's very difficult, you know, as a quarterback. You put the ball right on the money, you expect them to catch it.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those things that they've got to deal with. 21 seconds to go. They'll just down the ball.
In deference to our viewers in Winnipeg, let's not take the Rifles too lightly next week going into Saskatoon. I mean, they come up with a big victory tonight against the Winnipeg Rifles, so anything can happen. And this is the Prairie Football Conference after all.
Who knows? And, you know, it's amazing. Like you say, you get the Rifles beating Regina. Now, Regina's had some problems last couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when the Huskies get them at home here.
And that is the football game, with the Saskatoon Hilltops capturing first place in the Prairie Football Conference with a 38-28 victory over the Edmonton Huskies. And that is the end of the regular season for both these football teams. The Huskies, of course, preparing now to take on the Regina Thunder next Sunday afternoon here at Clarke Park, while the Saskatoon Hilltops will be looking to go against the Winnipeg Rifles down in Saskatoon. And both those games could be very, very interesting.
Well, I think they will be. And the Huskies have to get over this very quickly. They'll probably get a day off, and then Tuesday start working and preparing for, preparing for the game. And the coaches will probably tomorrow be in on film and breaking everything down here. I suspect they already have a lot of the Regina film work done, and they have a pretty good idea how they will attack them. They will go over this last film of the Regina with the Winnipeg Rifles, but I suspect Regina didn't show anything in that game. They know they're coming in here to play, so it'll be very vanilla what they showed.
Well, whatever happens, the Huskies, for the first time, well, actually any Edmonton team, for the first time since I think it's 2005 was the last time that there was a home playoff game in the Prairie Football Conference here in Edmonton.
2006.
2006, yeah. Okay, I stand corrected.
It was actually the Huskies and Wildcats.
Ah,
and
you're right too.
Conference championship.
I forgot about that one.
Conference championship.
And that was a huge year for both those football teams. And now they will be at home next Sunday afternoon. It'll be a big game for the Huskies, of course. And speaking of big games and big guys, Tom Sargent is down on the football field, and he is with Kevin Donnan. So let's go down to Kevin.
Well, there's an old saying, Coach, pressure either creates diamonds or bursts pipes, and you mined a diamond tonight.
Yeah, not bad. Hey, what we've learned, it's not how you start the race, how you finish it, and we lost some momentum in that second quarter, but, you know, it's a championship team. They understand what they need to do and how they need to do it. They responded, and we just made some plays in the second half, got a little momentum, and we're able to finish the game up. But credit to Edmonton Huskies. They're well coached. They play physical and hard, and, you know, it was a great game, and good chance we'll see these guys again.
How were you able to keep things calm in that fourth quarter? The Huskies were starting to climb back into it. What were you telling your guys on the sideline?
Well, we've been here too many times to get too worked out. It's football. You got to play 60 minutes. They're a good team. They're going to make plays, and you know it's ebb and flows. You just got to look after yourself, keep doing what we know what to do, and then just do it. And that's what we saw today. And as I said, our veteran leadership stood out, and very pleased with the effort. But at the end of the day, we've got to be better than this. I don't like giving up 28 points. I'll tell you that.
No, and now looking forward, you don't want to look past anyone because Winnipeg pulled off a big win tonight.
Okay.
So you're taking on Winnipeg next week. What do you have to do to make sure that you can get into the final in 2 weeks?
Well, we're just going to play Hilltop football. You know what? We're going to play for our coach and play for our fifth-year players, and we'll figure it out. They're coming into our place. Saskatoon's not a good place to come play. So, you know what? At the end of the day, we finished first. We're in the spot we wanted to do, and we did what we did. So now we're into the next season. We love the playoffs, so bring them on.
Well, you know what they say. If you're going to beat the man, you got to be the man. And right now, you guys are back on top.
Yeah, hey, when it's where we like to be and we're used to it, so it's not a big deal. We're just going to come out and play a better game next week.
Well, good luck the rest of the way, Coach. And let's send things back upstairs to Dave and a very, very happy head coach Tom Sargent of the Saskatoon Hilltops. Guys?
Boy, he makes life exciting, doesn't he?
Oh,
He's loving this, guys.
No question about that. And he'll be loving it next week against the Winnipeg Rifles. But I'll tell you what, we talked about at the beginning of the game, John, about the importance of the two quarterbacks. Jordan Walls held it together for almost the entire football game, with the exception maybe of the second quarter. It looked like Brad Lonhart I don't want to say he lost it, but the momentum just completely disappeared from him.
Well, again, it started in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And when you looked at it, they were missing on some passes, and then the second quarter they got in that rhythm. You remember when they hit Bergenson on the one, and then things started going, and they did pretty well, took the lead, and then what happens? All of a sudden, the third quarter, everything changed around right back to the first.
Okay, let's go downstairs, and once again, Kevin Donnan.
Well, thanks a lot, David. I'm here with Josh Iwinchia, and man, that was a fun football game, huh?
Yes, sir. We knew it was going to be a tough one coming out, so we had to give them everything we got early in the game. You know, we had a great start, and then we started stopping ourselves, so we just needed to stick to the plan and keep things rolling.
Late in the second quarter, the Huskies grabbed the momentum. You guys had trouble moving the football in the second quarter, but you're a veteran team. You've been here before. What was the talk like in the room at the half?
We knew we were stopping ourselves. We knew they were going to come out strong. We had a great game plan coming into the game, and at the end of the day, we know we were stopping ourselves, so we just needed to stick to our plan and keep doing what we're doing and make plays when they needed to be made.
Now, looking forward, you take on Winnipeg next week in the semifinal. But do you get the feeling that you're not going to look past the Rifles, but do you get the feeling you're going to see this Husky team again?
Oh, for sure. They're a dominant team all season, so we expect them to see them in the final. Winnipeg, they're playing a tough game against Regina right now, playing pretty strong, and we're not going to look past it. We know they're going to come out swinging because we had a great game against them the first time. So, we're just going to have a good week of practice and be ready for them.
But you're going to enjoy this one tonight. It's going to be a good bus ride home because you're back on top.
Oh, for sure. We knew they were the number one team for a while there, and, it was a sour taste in our mouth because we were used to that feeling. So now that we're back on top, we're going to be feeling pretty good about that, keeping our chins high, but we got to keep moving, keep focused, and not look past them.
Good luck next week against the Rifles, and appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Awesome,
thank you so much. Appreciate it. That was Josh Iwinchia, number 18 of the victorious Saskatoon Hilltops. And with some final thoughts, let's send things back upstairs to Dave Rozak and the coach, John Belmont. Guys?
Well, John, we talked throughout the game, momentum switches, momentum changes throughout the game, and in the end it all belonged to the Saskatoon Hilltops.
They had the last bit of momentum, and that's the way the game went, and that's football, and it's certainly football in this conference. And the biggest thing is it doesn't matter what the stats say.
No.
the final score is what matters.
Yeah, and we look at the certainly 406 yards total offense for the Huskies and 362 for the Hilltops. There's a good example right there. The Huskies definitely moved the football a little bit more than the Hilltops did, but again, the penalties and the momentum changes.
There were a number of factors there, and every time it can be a penalty that causes a momentum change. It can be a turnover. There's many different things that can cause them, but most of the momentum changes in this game went to the Hilltops.
Yeah.
And that's what the Huskies have to get turned around for next week.
All right, so what is Ian McLean going to see in the film, and what is he seeing here tonight that he knows he has to work on during practice this week?
Well, the first thing, I think he's got to get the guys back on track. I'm not sure you want to spend a lot of time on this film this week. You got to prepare for Regina. So what they will do is they're going to look at this film tomorrow. They'll break it down. I don't know if they'll have film and run with their players or whatever. They just might let the players go for Thanksgiving dinner, and the coaches will do the work. But what they have to do now is they've got to take a look at this. We made these mistakes. And, again, we talk about the sitting down in the zone or running through the zone when we're in the passing game. And I have never seen in the last 2 years Brad Lonhart and his receivers seem more inconsistent than they were tonight. Now, the Hilltops play a very disciplined zone, and they did it mainly tonight. They played a little bit of man when they blitz, but they will literally blitz and play zone behind it, and there's some pretty big gaps in there. Once in a while, Lonhart took advantage of it, but it seemed like, and we talked about it, that the chemistry was not there, and that's what they got to get back on track.
38-28, the final score in favor of the Saskatoon Hilltops over the Edmonton Huskies. Now it's playoff time next Sunday afternoon here on ICU Video as we present the Huskies and the Regina Thunder. Let's go downstairs for the final thoughts from Kevin Donnan.
Thanks so much, Dave, and we want to thank our viewers who have joined us here on ICU Video and throughout our procasts of the 2017 Prairie Football Conference season. On behalf of executive producer Rob Zitlaw, we want to thank our entire broadcast crew, the hardest working crew in cyberspace, technical advisor and camera Dave Foley, our director Connor O'Donovan, switcher Alex Testowich, and on camera Terry Get Me Down Off This Thing, Farina, and Matt Mosowich, and of course our broadcast team of Dave Rozak and the coach John Belmont. The Huskies and the Hilltops leave Clarke Park tonight with the playoffs on their mind, as they'll both be in the semifinals next weekend. Of course, as Dave mentioned, next Sunday afternoon, the Huskies host the Regina Thunder. But there's still plenty of football left here on ICU Video, as of course our Thanksgiving weekend coverage continues tomorrow as the Edmonton Wildcats finish out their 2017 regular season with a contest against the Calgary Colts at 1 o'clock right here at Clarke Park. So stay with us right here all weekend long with ICU Video and our coverage of the Prairie Football Conference. So we want to thank you again for being part of our procast coverage of Husky football during the 2017 regular season. And the final score, the Saskatoon Hilltops 38, the Edmonton Huskies 28. I'm Kevin Donnan for ICU Video, wishing all of our viewers a very happy Thanksgiving and good night from Clarke Park in Edmonton.